I have to
Oh,
get
we're
into
live, and we're live.
Okay.
Hey guys, uh, as people trickle in, we'll just you know, we'll shoot the shiv. We'll shoot the stuff. um, okay, so yeah, it's been a while since we did a Twin Peaks video, since I did a Twin Peaks video, but now we're here once again, and we're getting closer to the final dossier, which is coming out in about 15 days exactly, right? 31st. Co-host today, second time on this channel, uh, Danielle Jackson.
Woohoo!
Say what's
Hello.
up.
What's up, guys?
So, there's people starting to come in,
Great.
slowly but surely. We got 5 people in here now. So hey guys, thanks for tuning in. As everybody comes in, we'll get everybody up to speed. So the theme, or the sort of the subject of today's discussion, is going to be the first scene. Now that everything's out of the bag, cat's out of the bag, we saw the whole thing, and we had our time with it, and we let it stew and digest, and come out of all ends. we're gonna go back and discuss it and break it down a little bit, and see if the way we started it, if any of our opinions have changed, or theories. And I'm sure a lot of us have new opinions and theories based on what we know from the finale and the last couple episodes. But before we do that, I want to just show off some stuff, some cool merch. So I have a coworker that was a big fan when it originally premiered in the 90s, and she was looking through her, I guess, I don't know, she was looking through all her junk to get rid of for a garage sale, and she came upon this little number.
I'm so jealous of this.
I mean, the casing is kind of all bent and stuff. I mean, it's still good. Nothing, no stains or anything. Looks really good. It has a little. It's funny because it has a Lynch Frost Productions kind of description up top, and then it has it has a Kyle MacLachlan
That is so
sort of
cool.
thing in the middle, produced by Lynch Frost Productions. But the coolest thing is that the tape itself, I feel like she never actually listened to it. She might have never used it, because it seems like it's in pristine condition. If you I'm feeling it now, and it has that sort of new plasticky feeling, like when you open up a new pack of cards or something. It has that feel, that very untouched by the hand feel. There's some scratches on it, so I'm sure she did listen to it, but it just still feels very new. Maybe she listened to it once. But that was a cool gift. I have to find my my tape player and actually listen to it. I bought the audiobook. I don't know have you heard this?
I have not heard it. I need to.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably really cool listening to it on tape. But I bought the audio podcast version.
Ooh,
it was a lot of fun. I thought it would be a little bit more. I thought there would be more behind the scenes stuff. There's I'm not behind the scenes, more background stuff, but it's sort of, I guess, the days leading up to Cooper entering Twin Peaks and working in Twin Peaks, because there's some stuff that you don't hear in the show, and then there's some stuff that you do. And the stuff from the show is weird because it has if I'm remembering correctly, you could hear some of the soundtrack in the tapes.
That's cool.
Which is kind of they didn't bother editing it out, or splicing the audio out. But yeah, this is really fun.
That's so fun. You could listen to it on tape. I've been feeling really nostalgic for my old tape player lately. Mm-hmm. So
I had an old Panasonic, but I don't know where it is.
Yeah. I have to dig it up. My old car had the tape deck that I had forever. And
you had a tape deck still?
Yeah. still had a tape deck in my car, listened to Beach Boys and like this old Elton John album I haven't been able to find on any other platform anywhere else except for on that tape.
What was it? Was it
I
just like a
can't even
greatest hits
remember.
thing or something?
It was just like some weird like EP or something, I think.
Huh.
But
Interesting. You might have like some weird, like some collector's version of something,
maybe.
limited edition version. All right. So the second goodie before we get into the full discussion, I finally picked up this, the Art Life, David Lynch. I haven't really delved into the bonus features, and I only watched it on Amazon Prime because they had a free. I mean, they still might. I'm not sure. It was free on Amazon Prime, so I watched it there first. But I'm excited to watch the Blu-ray. It's probably gorgeous. They have an interview with a co-director, trailer, an essay by Dennis Lim, and high definition digital master with 5.1 surround sound. So you get to hear Lynch narrate his his world in surround sound if you have a system. But I think I bought it for $20 on Amazon. I figured, this is probably a good one to have.
Yeah.
If I ever need inspiration or something, I can always just go watch this one.
I need to watch that still. I think I checked last week and it is still on Amazon Prime. I need to go watch it.
Anybody that's a fan of Twin Peaks or David Lynch should definitely watch it. Anybody that wants to be a filmmaker or creative, not necessarily just a filmmaker, but it's just good to see the creative process, especially if somebody who's had a pretty interesting career, to say the least, and the way he started and discovered the art life, which I believe was I don't remember the name of the gentleman, the artist, but it was his friend's father that sort of, led him on to, knowing that he can actually pursue and have a life in art, which is really cool to see and hear him talk about. All right, guys. So now here comes the fun part of the video. I should see if somebody's. Oh, there are comments. I've been ignoring.
Joey.
Oh man! All right, so let me address the commenters before they get upset that I'm ignoring them. Rosenfield's here. So a lot of the people that have been watching the older videos. Steve Redfield said, "Wow." Reggie says you should do some Twin Peaks commentaries. Maybe. Steve has it on his phone. Yeah, I have it on my iPhone too. I listened to it on when I went to Portland actually a couple months ago. But I was kind of disappointed that it was so short. I thought I was going to be able to put it on and just listen to it. But it's like maybe 45 minutes, I think, maybe less, half hour. Just earlier in the series, I thought it would go up to identifying the killer, but it's much earlier than that. Yeah, it was it was the very beginning. They didn't go too far with it. The Art Life is only on DVD in England. Wow, that sucks. I mean, it's. I second guessed myself there. I was like, "Is this Blu-ray? Am I sure this is?" Yeah, it's Blu-ray. Rosenfield says the tape was one of my least favorite extras. Not enough there, and that is to be expected. Yeah, I mean, it's like a fun thing just to listen to. It's anything with Kyle MacLachlan is kind of fun to listen to as Cooper, so I'm all for that. All right, guys. Before we get to, we fall off base too much, let's get into the meat and bones of what this video is going to be. Hopefully, we can get your guys' participation in the comment section. So drop any theories you have while we go down this little my sheet. Danielle has her notes for part 1. We're going all the way back to the beginning. So this is what this video is going to be. We're going to basically go almost line by line, shot for shot. Not shot for shot, but at least line by line of what happens in the first scene. The first scene with the fireman and Cooper. And we're just going to sort of talk about what that means, what we find out about those lines, what we think about them, and if we got an answer to them, or if maybe we have new theories about them, possibly. So we'll get into it. I'm curious to see what you guys think. So we'll just start from the beginning. We have that sweeping shot of the floor. That floor, when I first saw it, I thought it was like, I don't know if it's like almost like sort of, it looks kind of velvety.
It does.
That floor.
Makes sense. Everything's velvet in Twin Peaks.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
much.
It reminded me of those, like, I don't know what those I guess maybe I don't think it's velvet. There's like certain sofas where you like put your hand across and it like has the marks. It kind of
like suede-y.
Yeah. That maybe suede. Wow. That's what I was thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was that. I thought it was like maybe sort of like a suede carpet or something, and because it looked like there was just lines, and it looked like something had been dragged. That's what I first thought it was, and then I realized it's just how the floor looks, and I was digging way too much into it.
It's kind of interesting though, if we want to dig more into it, about how suede you can always makes a print when you put your hand on it. So it's like with time, if you try to go back in time, it's going to make a print. Like if you go and step, let me just delve right in. Try to overthink it.
I'm going to bring up the Wikipedia for suede, and we're just going to deep dive into the history of suede.
We're going to do this whole YouTube video about suede.
I have to retitle it to Suede, the untold story. So, all right, so we go down the suede floor, and we get that shot right up to the fireman, who we didn't know was the fireman at that point. I believe in that first episode, he's all those question marks.
He's still the question mark one,
which I thought was funny. But now we know him as the fireman, and he just sits there and stares in his chair. And the first thing we heard, the first new line, Agent Cooper. First thing we hear. Great first line. I thought it was interesting that he calls him Agent Cooper. He doesn't call him Dale.
Is interesting.
This is like
Agent Cooper still, because even when he's in the watchtower or wherever you think that he is, he still being a detective and an investigator is his number one identity.
Mm-hmm. I didn't really think about it until I was writing this out, and I'm like, oh, he calls him Agent. That's interesting. And you're right. It's probably because that is who he identifies. He identifies as Agent Cooper. Dale is almost like his middle name.
Yeah.
Agent
This is
Dale
who he
Cooper.
Feels that he is. The FBI is who he is. I am the FBI. That's it's who he is at his core.
Yeah. And I guess he's recognized by these celestial beings, these universal whatever the heck they are, as an agent.
Yeah, even the aliens can recognize it.
I thought it was really funny because like Agent is like, maybe they think his name is Agent.
Yeah, maybe they do. They've seen him down on Earth, and everyone calls him Agent, so they just figured that's his name.
Must be Agent.
Agent Cooper. His name.
Because like, why would I mean, and now we know that they were kind of talking with Briggs, so who knows what kind of. I think it's just funny that something. I'm trying to think if Bob called him Agent Cooper. I don't know if Bob ever said it.
I can't remember.
I think maybe he just calls him Cooper.
It's funny. I don't know. When I come in onto this scene, I feel like he and the firemen have had a lot of talks before this, and they've been talking for a while. So even with the familiarity, he's still calling him Agent Cooper.
Okay, so now here's the big question. Is it future or is it past? Do you think that conversation takes place before or after he goes?
I found myself wondering if we're in like a loop. I wonder if they've had this conversation many times.
Okay, so we'll get back to that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it could. of course, it could probably take place like, future past. It takes place somewhere on the plane of time and, existence. It's somewhere at some point, like, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. So it could be taking place at the same time when he's going to carry Paige. It could be taking place there. It could be taking place when he's in a coma. It could be like there's a whole bunch of places.
There's so many options.
It could be taking place before, and he's just knows all that while he's Dougie, but he can't do anything about it. He hasn't been awoken. You could say that, I guess.
Could be like, I don't know, probably not when he was in the lodge. Or the Red Room, I guess.
Well,
I don't know.
The interesting thing is I'm assuming he gets brought up to the Watchtower or whatever, because it's not like, I don't think it's like walking into the Black Lodge. I think you have to be brought in.
Up.
Yeah. So it must have been a time when he could have gone and just been sucked up through one of those vortexes or something, which is interesting. Because
maybe it was while he was Dougie, like when he was in this latent state, and then he comes back like all knowing, and he knows exactly what to do. I don't know.
Because what we know about the vortexes is that you have to be like in the Watchtower. You have to be brought into it, from what we saw with Andy, and I guess Freddy with his glove.
Oh yeah.
Eva Katrina says it's 6:35 a.m. here.
Good morning.
Twin Peaks and black coffee. Hi, Jody. Hi, Danielle. Hey, long time no see, I feel like. I miss seeing some of these names. Reggie says, I think the fireman scene takes place at the end of the season. First scene of season 4. I believe that's what Cameron thinks, too, from Obnoxious and Anonymous. I could see it take. I feel like it takes place. I could see it being the first scene of season 4, but I feel like maybe it happens at, I don't know. This is like some weird Jeffries fragmentation. Like he's.
It's like, where is he?
Yeah, he might be gaining the information in like the present from a future version of himself. Like it's unclear. I bet David Lynch and Mark Frost don't even know the answer.
I bet. Because I can see him going back in time, forward in time, going back and forth.
Through time.
He's definitely on his own Jeffrey's journey now. He's
if we
on
want to
that
go
same path.
Yeah. He's in Jeffrey's territory for sure. I'm thinking maybe like sort of like the Stranger Things sort of theory where he's like the flea, and he's just like, it's not it's not linear for him, obviously, but it's like he's going through it and around and back. Forth. That's like the whole I'll open it for you with Jeffries when he opens the portal. It's just, I don't know. I don't know.
And the 8 going up and down in the ball.
It's just time is just splayed out, and I have no idea.
I think at this point there's just no rhyme or reason to time. Think all linear.
It's all happening at once.
It's gone out the window.
I think the easiest way to understand it is, or the easiest weird theory, I guess, is that it's just all happening. Future past, future/past. Yeah. Which is the idea that I've been subscribing to.
Yeah. Is it future? Is it past? No, they're one and the same.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's the same thing. It's just happening. It's happening now, whatever now means. Steve says, I used to think I knew when it was, but now I have no idea. Then he also says, yay, Doctor Who. I'm going to miss Peter Capaldi. Cooper would have seen the Richard and Linda note for him to say, I understand. Good point.
True.
Or maybe he just, he's just acknowledging that he understands like what he's saying. He's like retaining it. That's the first time I saw the scene. That's what I thought. It was just like him retaining it.
Okay. Just like, okay, I heard what you said. It's in my brain. Okay.
I understand. Like, I get it. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
But again, maybe it is afterward, and he's like, he has read this letter. He understands who he is and who Diane is in this world. So might be recognition of that. But I'm not sure.
I'm not either. I'm still kind of up in the air about the whole Richard and Linda thing. I have so many different theories, and I'm not sure exactly which one I adhere to the most yet.
You want to throw one out? I'm curious. I've kind of stopped theorizing about it. I've been like dead air.
Yeah, I don't know. The last time I watched it, I wanted it to be that Diane and Cooper were both sent to different timelines and didn't meet up with each other at all. And that's why they have the different hotels. But then, I don't know, after I watched the whole scenes and I was like, no, maybe I'm not adhering to that yet. But
well, with the different hotels, I think it's a lot like, this is the idea I'm subscribing to with Audrey. I think it's not things are like changing like this. I think those are just the cuts. Like the whole thing, my theory with Audrey is that she didn't like wake up or something. I think it was just like a hard cut to a new timeline.
Okay.
That's the idea I'm subscribing to.
I heard a theory today that the reality that Audrey sees is kind of showing that we're kind of getting glimpses into our reality, like where we live.
Mm-hmm.
And like the same with when Gordon has his dream and Monica Bellucci is there, who is someone from our dream, and he's on a street where he has his own, like Lynch has his own art exhibits, and you kind of have glimpses into our real world kind of interloping with this other Twin Peaks world.
I mean, our technically it's all like part of the same ether, like our world and Twin Peaks world. They could interweave. I think that was that's the idea I get. Like it's like in that world, Twin Peaks exists, and you know those things like spirits exist, and I guess the idea is that they exist, you know, everywhere. They exist no matter what. Twin Peaks might not exist in our world. In our world, Twin Peaks is North Bend or Snoqualmie. That's what it's called here, but there it's called Twin Peaks. Because maybe go ahead.
I think this theory I was listening to is kind of adhering to the fact that if we have like our reality intermixing with this, kind of makes us like the dreamers, and we're all in like Lynch's dream kind of thing. But I don't really. It was just a theory I read. It's not exactly what I think, but it was interesting to think about.
I don't think anyone is right or wrong.
No, there's no right or wrong. It's just like what you think as a viewer and what you feel is what's right for you. Like that's what David Lynch wants.
He just wants you to think.
What you feel is like the experience is what matters the most.
I agree. Let's see. What are people saying? People are excited.
All right. Oh, I'm excited.
Just double check. Norman said, just double check. Bob first addressed him as Coop. Coop, what happened to Josie? Right. Okay, I thought it was Coop.
That's a very familiar way to address him.
Coop, like he knew him. He didn't say Agent Cooper. He said Coop. He used his friend nickname.
Yeah, it's like what Gordon calls him. Like it's his friend thing.
That's interesting. I mean, that was back then. I don't know if they really thought about it or they thought maybe like, let's make Bob a little coy and call him Coop, like to be a little bit more menacing. He's like kind of acting like a buddy. Hey, Coop. And he's being kind of devious. But it's interesting because in the idea we have now of him being called Agent Cooper by the fireman, who calls himself the fireman, which is another thing.
Yeah. Like if some creepy figure came up to me and called me by my nickname, I would be freaked out.
Yeah, it's creepy. I mean, my nickname is Joey. I just go by Joey, but it It wouldn't be that weird if somebody called me Joey, but I'm trying to think if I ever had another. No,
like if some creepy guy was like, "Hey, Lella," I'd be like, "No, don't call me that."
Is that your nickname? Your friend nickname?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be. First of all, how do you know?
Yeah, I'm like, call me
that. That would be. Yeah, Bob was always creepy. Creepy Bob. He was creepy until part 17.
Yeah, and then we're like, oh, he is not the antagonist in any way anymore. It's all Judy.
Yeah, that's your death bag. That's the death bag thing you were talking about. I'll never get over that. That was a hard.
I kind of really enjoyed that scene the last time I watched it.
It's fun. It's funny.
It's kind of interesting when you think about how what's his Freddy? I forgot his name for a minute. Freddy's like a superhero kind of thing, and the way the scene is set up, it's not even so much as there's not action and movement so much as it is like
camera
flash of light,
and
then look on the scene, flash of light. So it's almost like you're reading like a comic book kind of thing. So it's like scene, flash. It's like you're going scene by scene kind of.
Yeah. It was like such a superhero kind of like the fact that he didn't have Cooper do it was interesting though.
Yeah.
I felt like he did that so intentionally. It's like, you're not gonna have Cooper beat Bob. That'd be too easy.
We're not gonna give you the satisfaction because actually he's just small pickings now. Bob
he's not.
It doesn't matter. Deal. We're gonna let Mr. Green Glove kill him.
It's my destiny.
I was reading that David Lynch has had that idea for like a Green Glove character for a really long time. He like has a box of like ideas in it, and he like has had this idea for a long time, and he just decided to take this idea from his little box and put it into Twin Peaks.
That's funny. pick an idea out of the hat and put it in.
That's probably what he did for the whole thing. He's like, okay, what do I do here? Okay.
Nothing surprises me anymore. He just like puts his hand and swirls it around.
Yeah.
Oh, Green Glove man.
Oh, Green Glove. Okay.
Green Glove with superpower, like super strength. Okay. Sounds good. We all thought he was gonna squash some of the woodsmen, but again, that would be too satisfying.
Too satisfying.
I squish you, you squish me, I squish you back. Yeah. Sock and boppers. All right, let's see if anybody else has put anything in. Coop is in the upside down.
Yeah.
In the darkness of futures past. So you could read that as in the darkness of future past, or you can read it as in the darkness of future past. As like it's like this thing, this one thing.
There's so many different ways, like connotations you can think about that.
The only reason I started thinking like understanding that future past is like the thing is when I downloaded the Dean Hurley anthology resource like sound effects album. It's like super out of but the last track on it is called Future/Past, not Future comma Past or something. So that was the first thing that
/past. Okay.
Like it's like the same. It's together.
So it's like they're the same. So it's like you can either read it as future and past being the same, or that the past is also going to be in the future. Like there's so many different ideas.
That's the thing. It's like once you start getting on this path and you try to figure, there's like really nothing to figure out once you like subscribe to that theory.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so it's all happening at the once. One is feeding into the other, and it loops back around and through, and
it's a maze. It's not a linear timeline. It's a maze.
It's all backwards and forwards, and
you got to find the Minotaur somewhere in there.
Right. I actually sort of started thinking of it as the Willy Wonka elevator.
Yes.
Goes backwards and forwards and upwards.
Yes. I love that.
That's time in Twin Peaks. It's the Willy Wonka elevator.
Man, Coop would love that pie gum. Like bubble gum. Doesn't she have gum that tastes like pie? I can't remember. I'm sure they probably made it
this
even
one,
if it's not
Violet.
the movie.
This one tastes like pie. I feel like I remember her saying that, but I might be wrong.
Yeah.
Now you put it in my head.
Yeah. We were just talking about pie yesterday. So
I was talking about pie. Yeah, maybe somebody says, yeah, maybe Audrey is the reality that was created after Cooper changed the timeline. I really think that's what happened. I think that was the future past moment where, you know, now this is what's happening to Audrey in this timeline. I mean, you could say it's a, but the thing is, I think she's aware of that cut though. That's what makes me think that. I mean, maybe some people are aware and some people are not, but Audrey, like, she like was like, what? Like, she just like, it was in shock almost. Mm-hmm. Some people thought she was waking up, but I really do like, I'm like so in love with the theory that that was like the hard cut to a new timeline, but she was like aware of it somehow.
That would make sense. Because I don't adhere to the idea that she's like in an asylum or something. That's not, I don't feel it.
Yeah. I feel like it's too boring.
Yeah.
And
there's something else there.
Like it's been done, like where they wake up in a asylum. Come on.
Yeah. No.
Let's just be a little bit more creative. I mean, I get why people thought so because it's white, and I mean, maybe I don't know. Like I don't know. Maybe she's like in a weird art exhibit or something.
Maybe she's in David Lynch's art exhibit right outside as he and Monica Bellucci are having coffee.
And it's like a middle-aged woman in distress, like, and she's just looking into a mirror and just like, oh, I'm getting old. Is that wrong? Is that messed up? I feel like that's messed up. I shouldn't have said that.
Now some artist is gonna come and steal your idea, and
it's like
you're gonna go see it in a museum and be like, hey, that was my idea.
I mean, yeah, I guess you could sort of do I feel like that might have been done. I'm not sure. That's like sort of an Abramovic kind of thing, performance art. You just have a woman sitting in the middle of a room staring at a mirror and just like freaking out. What do you think of the idea that the final scene was in our world? Like Coop actually led Laura out of the show? I mean, it's all the show. It's all the show. We're in a show right now. The thing is, I've read something. I actually posted it to Instagram. I'm gonna bring. I think maybe you saw it. It's a quote from. I really feel bad because I can't pronounce this. Chagdug Rinpoche, maybe. And the quote is, always recognize the dreamlike qualities of life and reduce attachment and aversion. Practice good-heartedness towards all beings, be loving and compassionate, no matter what others do to you. What they will do will not matter so much when you see it as a dream. The trick is to have positive intention during the dream. This is the essential point. This is true spirituality. So
I love that.
The thing is, we live inside a dream, but who's the dreamer? I just think everybody is and everything is. It's all a dream. It just is. It's all a dream. The dream.
We're all dreamers.
You could think of the dream as something like you have a dream, like you birth it, you create it. You could think of it like that, where it's created in your mind and stuff. But perspective could be a dream. Life, everything's filtered through your lens, so nothing is reality, and it's all filtered. It's all a dream. We're in their dream.
Yeah.
I don't. It's so much more interesting when you think about it that way.
It could be just like an endless cycle of us all being in each other's dreams, and
because have you ever had the thought where like you're like I don't know if it's just me. Maybe I'm like an egotistical freak or something where it's like you're just sitting there and you're like, am I like, is this like my imagination? Is everything my imagine? I used to think that when I was younger. It was really weird.
No, I did too. And I always have so many moments where like I'll sit there and I feel like I've dreamt this before. Be like, I'll have something happens and I sit there and I'm like, have I dreamt this before? I feel like this has happened in a dream and it's in reality now.
It all influences each other. Mm-hmm. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
Oh God. Let's see. Where did I leave off? I like answering the questions because some people have some really good stuff. I mean, everybody's pretty on point with this stuff, which is really cool.
Little smarties.
Only show where like people would be so on it. Well, in the real name, her name wouldn't be Carrie Page. I mean, I don't know if Cheryl Lee. maybe one of her relatives is. I don't know. But she remembered she was Laura at the end and lost it. Mr. C never acted like Bob. It always confused me.
I think Bob was more latent when he was inside Mr. C because Mr. C was so evil in himself. Mm-hmm. Because he had that moment, Mr. C had that moment where he looks in the mirror and he's like, "Oh, you're still there." Like he doesn't recognize him anymore or feel his presence.
I think with Mr. C, Bob was just like, he was just, sitting back and taking in all the Garmonbosia. Because I don't think the doppelganger
needs it. Feeding off of it. Yeah.
It's a parasite. So Mr. C was all the personality. That was all evil Cooper personality.
He did need to add to that evil. There was enough there.
Yeah. I mean, he gave him everything he wanted, I guess. We'll probably never get a real answer to that. Maybe in the final dossier.
He was probably just feeling like he was living large. He's just like sitting back, just being lazy, living his life. He's like, this is my retirement. I could just sit here and eat this Garmonbosia and just live my life.
I could just see Bob in the little bowl,
just eating it, like he's watching a TV show as he watches what's going on with Mr. C. It's like an old man sitting back on his couch in retirement, like just chilling.
I just got a weird image of Mike or Philip Gerard like spoon feeding the evolution of the arm, Garmonbosia.
He's like, hey.
Oh God. Just like, and he's like spitting it out because he just does that weird.
There's little food specks coming out.
Oh God. Shoot.
I'm dying. That was.
Danielle's broken.
Okay. Get my composure.
Yeah, drink. I need it. I actually have some water, so I don't get all.
Yeah.
Some just got in my eye. One thing that's odd is Mr. C acts like the Joker laughing in the season 2 finale, but in season 3, he's the coolest guy in the show.
He definitely has an aesthetic going on. He has like a look. He's got for sure.
It's like, I guess like 70s. I always got like a 70s rocker vibe from him.
Yeah.
I think it's the hair.
Yeah, he's kind of like what's his face in Kill Bill Part 2? Is it Michael Madsen? Is that his name?
Which one?
He's like the cowboy guy, and he's also, I think he plays.
I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
I don't have that wealth of knowledge.
I don't have it on hand. Yeah. That's one of my favorite movies. I love Kill Bill Part 2. That's a good one. But
Yeah,
obviously,
I think you're right. I think you're right.
I'm forgetting about it in the moment as I'm on the spot.
It's okay.
But someone in the comments will tell me.
Hopefully. Rosenfield
Sure.
says, a recent theory on time by MIT professor Dr. Bradford Scow in his book Objective Becoming suggests that the past, present, and future all exist together.
That's it.
Katrina says, in the darkness of future past, PASSED. I mean, yeah. I mean, both work, I guess. A lot of stuff in science about levels of consciousness and gravitational waves, very applicable too. Oh, yeah. There's definitely like a lot of quantum mechanics and stuff like that at work here. Did you see the real life Double R diner that opened in Los Angeles, the pop-up shop? Yes, I want to be there right now.
Yes, I want to go.
I don't.
That looks so fun.
It's a 5-6 hour plane ride. If I had the time and the money to just jump on a plane.
If I hop in the car right now, I can be there in 7 hours.
See, I'll be there before you if I get on a plane. And you're way closer, technically.
Yeah, I mean, I have an hour plane ride if I wanted to.
Are there trains that go from you down there?
I don't know. I haven't checked trains. Maybe. I usually just fly or drive.
Yeah, I love flying, so I always just go for the plane. Let's see. It's blueberry pie. That's why she turns into a blueberry. You're turning violet.
Yeah.
I heard the LA Double R diner is awful. The food and service is bad, and they don't even serve cherry pie. The owners don't even know anything about TP. Isn't it just a pop-up shop though?
Yeah, it's just pop up for like just 4 days.
Yeah, it's probably just like people that they hired on the spot, like not Twin Peaks fans, obviously.
Probably.
It's probably just people that need a good job.
Money.
Yeah. So I get that, even though they probably should have tried to hire some Twin Peaks fans, but that'd be a very selective process. I hope so. Remember when Shelley noticed all the customers changing? Yeah, I think that was the hard cuts, different hard cuts realities happening. That's one of the other things why I started thinking maybe the thing with Audrey was the hard cut into a different.
And then there's the Big Ed eating his soup stuff and the reflection in the window being different, and
everything is leaking through. That scene is interesting because it's not just cutting, because he's literally just not doing anything, and in the reflection
and he sees it happen. Like, it's not just happening and no one notices. He sees it happen.
That scene is probably the most interesting, because everything else there's like cuts happening and things are changing, but he's literally
at the same time.
It's a reflection of him. He's not moving and that's moving. So it's like almost like it's spilling in. Interesting.
You have like worlds converging and
like timelines combining.
Yep.
Which I think maybe that's what happens at the end. Maybe it was like a timeline convergence.
Yeah, maybe once Laura realizes with that scream and it all goes black, like something happens with that electricity and that scream. Oh, did you see what Cheryl Lee said at the Festival of Disruption?
I haven't looked at anything from that yet. I was waiting till.
What did she say?
Something juicy?
She talks about the scream, and she says, that was a present day scream with 30 more years of life in me. And I thought that was a really cool quote.
So guess who wants to do more? Yeah, I bet most of them want to do more.
Oh yeah. You know that all of them just love doing Twin Peaks and just adore David Lynch. Like, you have Naomi Watts going up to his house, telling him to give him work.
Her impression of David Lynch is my favorite.
I love it.
And the one where she was I don't know if you heard that. I forgot who show she was on, but she was like texting him, and he's like
Yes.
meditating, and he texted her back. He's like, "Leave me alone."
He's like, "Leave me alone, bitch.
Oh,
I'm
that's right.
meditating," or something like that. It was crass, but like funny Lynch kind of thing.
Oh God, that story kills me. And the first time I heard it, I was in
Love it.
stitches. Katrina says, "Lol, Bob's retirement." Freddie messed it all up.
Yep.
One of the questions
Damn
being,
it, Freddie.
is someone dreaming all of this right now? It's literally just existence. Existence is a dream. Is someone dreaming of you and me? Is it all in someone else's head?
Maybe we're all in Garland Briggs' big floating head in the theater. He's just dreaming us all.
See, I wonder. I won't even get into Garland Briggs yet. That's going to be a whole other video.
I don't even. Yeah. It's crazy. And then it's like the same theater as Mulholland Drive. So now I'm like, I want to like make connections.
I mean, going by the rules that we're going by now, all of his movies exist in the same universe.
Yeah, it's all dreams converging, and it's crazy.
So I'm just gonna resign to it and say they all exist in the same universe, whatever the hell that means. Let's see. I guess, I mean, we could go to the next line. We've only done the first line. All he said was Agent Cooper, and we ended up here.
We haven't even done anything.
Somebody said, "Do you think Frost and Lynch are on the outs once again?" I heard that Frost really didn't have much input into the editing, and in the end, he was like, "WTF?" I hadn't heard that.
Neither.
I wouldn't. I
know that Sabrina Sutherland was a little bit weird about the final dossier, but that's all the only weird stuff I've heard.
I wouldn't feed too much into the rumors. I think both of them are so low key. I mean, Mark Frost is always on Twitter, but I wouldn't feed into the rumors too much. So there was cherry pie in Cameron's live interview with someone he spoke to in LA an hour ago at the pop-up bar. Oh, I didn't even know Cameron was doing a stream.
Oh, Cameron, how fun.
Cameron did a live stream with a guy at the pop-up shop, and it would be extremely disappointing if you were to fly over. Yeah, I wouldn't. For pop-up shop, no. I actually go to North Bend. I'd go to the real Double R if I was going to pay for a ticket.
Yeah.
The secret to Twin Peaks and Lynch is to try not to make sense out of it. Only the ones in the other world reality understand. I don't think they do either. I don't think anybody does. I think that's the point.
Yeah. It's a whole massive confusion, and we've just gotta embrace it.
Yeah. So that's why I just resign. I have theories, and I just resign to it because I'm going to drive myself crazy. Ardent Heart says, "Our experience of time is a necessary illusion. It prevents everything from happening at once. Eternal means outside of time." That's true. And beyond it. For an eternal being, there's no time. There's just now. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's kind of what we were saying. Yeah. It's just, it's all... what was I was reading or listening to something about perception of time, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, it was being able to what was it? Something about being able to move in time as we do space, but there are no tools for it or something. Like we haven't figured it out yet. Like they gave... I really wish I had the example. I had the full example. But it was a scientist, and he's like, our minds learn how to comprehend space, and just like if somebody walks around the corner, our minds evolve to understand that if we go around this corner, we're gonna see this person here. It seems like silly, but it's like, how did we get like that kind of reasoning? I don't know. I'm saying it wrong, but I'll see if I could find that video because it was really interesting.
So this is all kind of about our perception, and we just need to be able to open it up to see more.
And the ability to understand stuff like that. It was like a really simple example of the human mind being able to comprehend stuff, movement in space, and thought. Like, we just don't understand how time really works, basically. Because if once we understand what time is and how it really works, we might be able to manipulate it in some way, which sets a very interesting precedent.
Maybe what Cooper's trying to do, is manipulate time.
Yeah, maybe he figured it. The object permanence is what it is. That's like when like you realize something's there. At the core, that's what it is. Object permanence. You understand that it's that, like, if you go around the corner, the person is there, and not like if you go around the corner, you're suddenly going to be in a park somewhere, because that would be really warped. Somebody asked, was there new Twin Peaks news from the Festival of Disruption? Not that I know of. I feel like I would have definitely heard about it.
Yeah, same.
I know they talked a lot about music, so. So maybe now we can move on to the second thing that happens in the everybody's asking about Festival of Disruption. I was gonna go, but I realized that the tickets were insane.
Yeah.
Maybe next year. What was the big disruption at the festival? I don't know. Bon Iver played, who I love. I watched that set. He was good. I haven't listened to the talk David Lynch gave yet. I haven't done any digging with Festival Disruption yet.
About it.
I was waiting for like more official videos to come out just to watch it, because I mean, watching the handheld stuff is fine, but I like watching like the stuff with good audio and whatnot. But I watched some of the performances. It was cool. I mean, it was like a music festival, but with these very niche artists. Okay, so let's go to what happens next in the first scene, because so we said Agent Cooper. We went into Agent Cooper. For those that are joining us now, we did Agent Cooper. That was the first line. Second line was listen to the sounds, and then we hear this scratching record.
Scratching.
I mean, I'm assuming it's a record skip. Like, at this point, I'm just resigning to ideas I have in my head and just running with them. I'm just going to say it's almost just like a metaphor kind of thing, a scratching record, a skipping record. Yeah. It does that. I counted 7 times in the first scene. Huh?
I didn't think to count them, so.
Yeah, I didn't think so either until this time. I was like, how many times does it scratch? 7. It might have been 8. I might have missed one, but I counted 7. If it was 8, I feel like that would be, Jeffries. But I counted 7. So I wonder if that's like a counter.
Maybe.
Like he's already did this 7 times. I'm assuming. Well, if we're going by the theory that it's all happening at once, he's done it an infinite amount of times.
Yeah. So maybe just this certain scene at the time after he's done it 7 times or something.
The number might not have any. Like, it might have no.
It may not. Yeah. But I like that idea, because the way I see it is that if it's a record, like records have grooves. And if you think of it as like kind of time moving, and that each scratch is like a disruption in time. So it could be like each time that like Cooper has disrupted time so far.
Like made a big impression.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Or it doesn't even have to be like every time Cooper's done it. It could just be like throughout time there's been certain moments where someone has made a big disruption. Like
you could say the big the Big Bang.
Like the Big Bang
and then the atomic bomb.
Or the bomb and maybe Jeffries did something. I don't know.
So Wilton says the scratching noises were actually samples from Michael J. Anderson, Man from Another Place, screeching his shoes in the red room in season 2. The sound was downsampled and stretched. I heard that, but I also heard that it was the sound of the slot machine. So I've heard that it was a couple things. So I don't know what to believe.
Interesting.
Like the crank of the slot machine. Although slot machines don't really have the crank anymore; they just have the buttons.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said lucky 7 insurance. I mean, 7 is a lucky number. So
lucky number.
Maybe this is the time.
Charm.
Yeah, maybe this is the time he actually gets Judy. Because then, so you want to go into the fact that everything is infinite, but does that leave no room for any sort of monkey wrench? Like you're saying, this is maybe the grooves like disruption. Maybe those grooves are the 7 times there's been a real disruption in the the flow of things. So what is infinity? You go a step even further out. Oh
man,
it's too much. It's just a TV show, right?
Blowing my mind. Yeah.
Records are also linear spirals and somehow halfway between linear time and cyclical time. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. And I mean, it is like a record, like it's a record player. So there's like those metaphors are in there. Obviously, they did it for a reason.
Do the upside down because you have to turn it around.
Side B.
Maybe Carrie Page's universe is just side B. You got the 2 different universes, record. Side A, side B. Flip the record.
I mean, where else do we hear the sound? When Cooper goes to pluck her out.
Yeah.
That's the only other time we hear that sound.
That's the next time we hear the scratch. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
I like that.
That might be the flip to side B.
She's getting Judy's flipping her over to side B.
Maybe all of this, the whole of everything, takes place on a record.
Maybe we all just live on a record. That's.
It's like the Men in Black like marbles thing. Do you remember the end of Men in Black, the first Men in Black movie?
I haven't seen Men in Black in so long. I need to watch it again.
I remember the first time I saw that movie, my mind was blown. I was like probably 6 or 7. Mm-hmm. I think that movie triggered something in me.
Yeah.
Such a good movie. The first one, at least. The second two.
I think my brother and I always like to listen to the Will Smith Fresh Prince Greatest Hits CD. So we always listen to the Men in Black. So we listen to that a lot.
Oh yeah, I used to listen to that a lot.
Like any road trip, we're like, let's listen to Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff.
I had the Getting Jiggy With It CD. And I think that was on there. So was the song from Wild Wild West.
Yes, good one.
Which is also a good one. Will Smith talk. I don't even remember where I was. Oh, Men in Black with the marbles.
Oh yeah, Men in Black, the marbles.
It's just like the picture. You just always zoom out. It's like the infinity outward. You think you have it figured out, but then there's like another level. And
like, guess what?
It just never ends. It just never ends. And then it might just like zoom back in, and we might be the bigger thing, and then it just like just keeps eating itself and feeding back into itself. I always just view like everything as sort of like a machine, just like sort of energizing the next part. It's just like one can't live without the other. It's almost like existence and like everything is like a being in itself.
All about like sustainability and this needs that to survive and blah forever.
I think like existence as a whole, it's just like I don't know. I think survival is just the essential thing. And how do you survive? Like you need energy and like I don't know. There was one long winter night where I was just like, is it just like a big machine? Is it the Matrix basically? Down to like it's just infinitely large and small, back and forth and around, and Ugh. Okay, so I think we're good with the scratching record to infinity and beyond.
We got scratching record.
See, Buzz Lightyear had told us all along. That is the ultimate Twin Peaks
to
theory.
Infinity and beyond. We got it. He knew all. We knew right from Toy Story all this time. We just needed to go watch Toy Story to understand Twin Peaks.
Toy Story had it right. To infinity and beyond.
It's all about to infinity and beyond.
That's
and
literally
friendship.
what it is. Like they went to infinity and beyond.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we figured out Twin Peaks. David Lynch really loves Pixar.
Yeah.
He really loves Toy Story.
It's his favorite.
And he
watches it on a loop.
On a loop. It's been a long day.
While he's doing his woodworking, he's always sitting there watching Toy Story.
And the cowboy's Woody, right? The cowboy that Cooper.
Yes, the cowboy.
I'm trying to think if there's a spaceman. Huh. No, I guess maybe the fireman.
Maybe the fireman. You need the Mulholland Drive cowboy and the fireman. They're gonna come be buds.
Toy Story. It's all Toy Story.
Yeah, it's all Toy Story.
Reggie says Toy Story is just as good as Twin Peaks. You know what? I love Toy Story. I won't even dispute that.
Toy Story is good.
One of my favorite movies of all time. I would have never expected we were going to be talking about Toy Story right now. But
Me either.
Bowie is the spaceman. Right.
Yeah.
To infinity and beyond, guys. We figured out Twin Peaks via Pixar. Pixar is just so good.
Yeah. Next time we're gonna have an Angelo Badalamenti and Randy Newman mashup in season 4.
Next time I watch Toy Story, I'm gonna play the Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. Reggie says Sonny Jim has Woody in his room. Don't do that. That's oh god.
Oh, really?
Oh god. That if that's true, I'm gonna look because that's really funny.
I love it. Now I'm trying to think of how to mash up "You've Got a Friend in Me" on the Twin Peaks theme song.
You'd have to sing it really slowly.
Yeah. You got. I can't.
Oh, Cameron's asking what I thought of the Straight Story. I loved it. Oh.
Yay.
It kind of tore me up. That ending though, have you seen the Straight Story yet?
I haven't. I need to.
The only place I could find, I found it on Amazon on DVD. It was pretty affordable, so I just bought it. But I realized why I hadn't watched it till now, because when I was watching the David Lynch movies for the first time, I was just ripping through them, and then I stopped because I didn't want to just go through them all in one shot, and I never went back to to go through the rest. So that's why I never got to the Straight Story. I think I was saving that one, but I finally watched it. I have it now. Really good.
I need to watch it.
It's so weird because it's Lynch, but it's Disney Lynch.
Ooh. Which
Toy Story. But it feels like a Lynch movie, but it also feels like that 90s era Disney movies, like those really heartfelt full stories, and it definitely watch it. It's
me too.
It's really great. It's like on the road with an old man and less,
because On the Road is one of my all-time favorite books, so I'm sure I know.
It's not On the Road at all, but it kind of
But it's like Disney on the road. If it was
he's on a tractor,
a narcissistic, misogynistic man writing.
It's good, especially if you have sort of anxieties about aging and stuff, and making amends with loved ones. It's sort of just it kind of puts you at a little bit at ease and gives you some guidelines. And I don't know. It's a good Lynch movie and it's a good Disney movie. Cameron's saying it's pure Lynch. His heart is purer than this. It was a very pure, like, it felt like he was telling his story. Lynch was telling his story through this man's story. It was based on a true story, which is really cool. I'm out of focus. There we go.
There you go.
But yeah, definitely go watch it. I want to do a video about it. Maybe I could talk to Cameron about it. I'm gonna actually rewatch it again soon, just so I get it in there. Reggie says I want to see David Lynch's Toy Story 4. That would be cool. I don't think that would ever happen, but that would be cool to see David Lynch do another animated. I mean, I don't think he's done animated stuff since he's done his own stuff way back when.
And he's such a brilliant artist. I'd love to see him do more of that kind of stuff. It'd be cool.
And I'm trying to imagine what a Lynch Toy Story would be. Get Kyle MacLachlan to play a character.
Yeah.
Cameron says, "Did I get teary-eyed?" Of course I got teary-eyed. I got teary-eyed. What part? I didn't even get to at the ending. I didn't get too teary-eyed. It was a part during the middle that got me. I can't think of what it was. I mean, it was the family that like helped him and like all the community that kind of came together. Oh, I remember. It was a story when he was in the bar. He was in the bar talking to this other vet about their time, like his time in the trenches and how he was a sniper. And I'm not going to spoil it because it's a strong scene. But yeah, now even thinking about it, it's getting me. But it was just like it hit me. It hit me. So you got to watch it, Danielle.
I need to.
Okay. Yeah, that now I thought about that scene is back in my head. It's pretty rough. Somebody said I've actually seen that as a movie poster. I can try and fetch a pic for you. Serious? Wait, a David Lynch kind of Toy Story 4 poster? I want to see that.
What? That sounds amazing.
I want to see that. If that's what you're talking about, maybe I'm misunderstanding. Yeah. Kyle MacLachlan would make a great Woody. Not taking that away from Tom Hanks. I love Tom Hanks. I don't want to take that away from him.
Love that man.
When Farnsworth tells a story about her kids. Oh, yes. Oh, right. Yeah, now I'm like being hit with all these feelings.
You got all the emotions coming.
Jeez. All right. Where were we? Oh, okay. We did the scratching.
Where were we? Oh, yeah, scratching, and we get to
then we got into flip sides of records, Infinity and Beyond.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so the next thing after the record thing happens, the giant fireman says it is in our house now. Do you have any theories on what that is? I don't remember.
I don't really. I don't know. I kind of wonder about it being like the Palmer house.
Mm-hmm.
Like saying that Judy is in the house now, like the Black Lodge is getting into the Palmer house.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe kind of that infiltration. But I don't know.
Do you think
I don't have any like
Cameron's like Jowday.
Jowday, okay.
Jowday. It is in our.
Yeah,
Do
and
you
you're
think that's
saying
referring to Judy?
that Judys here.
I mean, we could assume that it's
I think
referring to
it
Judy.
could be, or at least like darkness in general, like the Black Lodge and the darkness is seeping in,
See,
and we need to take care of it.
the other day. I was doing something, and then I remembered some kind of old saying, and now I'm like, and I forgot it. It was like a weird. It was almost like a dream where you have it and you wake up, and you like it's so vivid, and you wake up and you can't remember a damn thing. I remembered a saying that's something about being in our house, but I can't remember what it was now, and it's bothering me because I think that's what it was a play on, but it is in our house now, and I'm sure there's some sort of spiritual or religious thing you could go with too, theory wise, but I mean, we could say Judy or darkness or something,
or it could be like even if. Like a saying being like, it's in our house now, it's like we got it now, like this is our time to do it this time, like we have the upper hand now, kind of thing.
Maybe. I like that. That's a little bit more optimistic.
Yeah, like it's in our house now, we have the upper hand now.
Yeah, like it's in our court.
Yeah.
No, I like that. I think that's probably the best thing. You could say, I guess you could say Judy's, and like that's sort of a darker theory, like it's in our house. It's like Bob is in our house.
The call is coming from inside the house.
Yeah, that kind of thing, where it's ominous. Or you could say like it's in our court, it's in our house. The team Watchtower wins the House Cup. I don't like. I don't know. Yeah, okay, we'll leave that at that because that's sort of one I'm still working on. But I do like the more optimistic. I'll always go with the little more optimistic thing.
In my brain, I'm just imagining Lee Jordan being like, Watchtower wins!
And Koopa has the quaffle.
Koopa has the quaffle. Laura Palmer caught the snitch, but then it freaked everything out, and now the timelines are submerging.
And suddenly she woke up in outskirts of Seattle. And then they're already talking about, and then Cooper goes after it is in our house now. Cooper goes, "It is." I know Cameron always gets a kick out of it because it was just like, "It is." You're like, it is.
Yeah, so,
like, it's so
now
hard
you got to think of like which connotation of it being in our house now would make him have that reaction.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Like you'd be like,
I love it.
It is, or like it is. And then like he's either. It sounds like he's asking more than just like responding. It is, or it is. Yeah. Or it is.
Have that question.
But I think it's like he's asking it in a question.
Yeah.
So again, you could maybe this. See, then this goes back to where in the whole thing is Cooper, because is he getting information that like it's our turn, like you're saying, like it is in our house now, it is in our court, we can do it now.
Yeah, like we have the upper hand. We do. Like kind of thing.
So that's interesting. I think I hadn't thought about it that way. Again, we could say Judy. Like we could go with that sort of darker thing. Judy's in our house.
Judy's here. It's terrible.
Yeah, things are bad. Everything's a mess. She's manipulating everybody. Yeah. The mess is in our house now, and we have to do something about it. Or it's here and it's looming, and it's gonna get us if we don't do something about it.
Cooper, go get the broom and clean this up while you're listening.
Clean up all that glass that Sarah is smashing everywhere. This scene takes place after the season 3 opening scene of season 4. I could see that.
Yeah,
See,
I could adhere to that idea.
I could see
feel
it taking place as like the beginning of season 4, but
Mhm.
I feel like maybe it's like the future feeding into the past, and I don't know. I'm still unsure. I
Yeah,
always
I
think of
kind
the
of like it
Justice.
being ambiguous.
I mean, for now, maybe
Yeah.
I know Cameron thinks we're definitely going to get an announcement soon. So hopefully he's right,
Mhm. I hope so.
because obviously we're doing this. I'm getting the pangs back. I'm finally out of the mourning period.
I know.
Um,
I'm wanting more again.
Reggie says I always think of the Justice League Watchtower. I think like when I first saw that scene, I thought of Azkaban. So back to Harry Potter, but also
I know.
Justice
I
League
thought that
Watchtower.
too.
I mean, I don't know if it's called the Watchtower. That's what I've been calling it, because I feel like I don't think it's the White Lodge. I think it's just sort of this other thing. I don't know if we've seen the White Lodge yet.
Because it looked really nice when Garland Briggs was there. It didn't look all kind of
It was all
dreary like
flowery
it
and stuff.
does. Yeah.
Um, do you think Bob would still be in season 4? It would be weird to have a season without the central villain.
Mm,
I think Judy's the central villain now.
I think he was. I think that the point of part 17 was to show us that he's so easy to take out. He's not even as big a villain as we thought all this time. He's nothing compared to Judy.
I mean, small pickings. He was birthed, you could say, by Judy. So obviously the thing that birthed that is going to be 100 times worse. So that's like, you gotta, it's, I mean, you could go into the whole thing of systemic, like, garbage and evil and stuff, and how it's so deep rooted and far back. And you have to go to the core. You have to, really defeat it. But
Do you
I
think
don't.
Judy and the mother who made Bob are the same? I found myself wondering if they're separate.
I mean, I think the idea is that is Judy or the mother. But then is the mother the same thing that shows up in the box?
Yeah.
Is that like, I don't know? It's unclear to me.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm being ridiculous or missing something, but
Yeah.
it wasn't totally clear to me that they were
Judy
the same person.
Yeah. If it's Judy inside of Sarah Palmer, that scene where she was smashing Lara's picture frame the last time I watched it. The first time I watched it, I was like, oh, this is Sarah Palmer being mad. But then the second time I watched it thinking that it was Judy doing that after Bob dies. And she's jealous that, Bob, her son, is dead while Lara's alive again. And she's mad that, I don't know.
I mean,
That's
I guess it would be her son, sort of, technically, if she birthed them.
This could be a mad Judy right now, and now she's out for revenge because her son is dead.
Cameron said Beowulf. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That I didn't even think of like a revenge kind of thing, a revenge arc.
Mm-hmm.
But like that would make sense if Judy were the one that was the one that plucked Laura when Cooper was trying to save her, and then you hear the scratching.
Be like,
She's
you
like
can't
pissed.
live when Bob's dead. You're out of here.
Grendel's from Beowulf. All right, I have to Reggie, you got to read Beowulf. Oh, Cameron's on it. I was a little lost with where this chat was. I missed a couple lines, but yeah, revenge. I guess maybe it is revenge about killing Bob.
Could be.
Would she be that vengeful?
I don't know.
A creature like
it
that?
was just something I kind of wondered the last time I watched it. I was like, wait, is that Judy being mad right now? And wait, is she gonna be so upset because Bob's dead? Could it be a revenge thing? It's just something I've been toying with, maybe. Another thing that.
But
I could add in there.
But then would that make Judy like too human?
That's true.
Is that like a inherently human thing, like revenge? Because then that would make I don't like do.
Because if it's like the ultimate evil, would she have enough like maternal instinct to actually really care about Bob?
Cameron's saying she's mad that Bob is gone and Laura is still alive.
Yeah,
it's just weird to me that some kind of almost like celestial creature would have that. I guess a lot of it
lost. Maybe in the end, it is kind of a self-serving thing, like ego.
I mean, a lot of the Greek mythology, those gods were so spiteful and vengeful and jealous and all the things, all like the negative traits you could think of. So I guess if you're subscribing to that kind of thing, then yeah, she could be she could be like a vengeful god. And then we have everybody trying to stop her. Oh, Judy. Jowday. Cameron says she's possessing Sarah. We never see Sarah's face when she is stabbing. This is true. We just hear that weird, like sort of almost reverse music and, you know, her slamming on Laura's face. So
I loved that scene.
Do you think what we're witnessing is the actual place where things begin to change? Do you think this is the disruption? Like we're witnessing this.
Maybe it's just marking the change of stuff, and I don't know.
Because I mean, it's interesting, but it would be pretty like let's say they actually do season 4. It would be pretty boring for them, like just to do what they like, just to keep on that loop, and like we're watching and we're like, okay, this has happened an infinite amount of time, so we're seeing. You think? I think maybe we're probably seeing the actual disruption, the taking down of Judy. That's what we're witnessing when we watch season 4.
It's like the final disruption. And maybe that's why they called it the Festival of Disruption, because that's what the return's really about. I don't know. Yeah, it could be that scream did something.
Breaking the loop.
Yeah, maybe that's right. Maybe it broke the loop, and maybe that's what's gonna shatter what's been going wrong and jolt them back.
Yeah, maybe what we've seen already in the original Twin Peaks. This is all just it's been affected by this evil. Like maybe there was a time before, maybe when we entered Twin Peaks, it's like at some point when Judy has started she's influencing this timeline or a couple of these time. I'm not sure. Like, was Judy always a presence, or did she insert herself into the time stream, whatever you want to call it, and then start affecting timelines and people? Like, was it like almost like a force that just like barged in, and that's how we got Twin Peaks and Bob and all those guys, or has she just been around forever?
Maybe it's like something that maybe she has been around forever, and she has times where she's latent, and then maybe when man becomes more evil, she kind of feeds on that and becomes stronger.
See, I'm thinking that, but maybe I'm doing a bad job at describing. If she's not sort of tied to the plane of like our time and reality or whatever, and even if she's like maybe sort of operates on the same plane as the fireman, I don't know what the realm of his power or ability control is, or
because she's able to create different timelines or take people in and out of timelines. She's got some kind of like, I don't know, she's some kind of like, not deity, but she has some maybe kind of more omnipotent power like the fireman.
That's what I'm trying to understand. Like, because what they're doing, as I understand it, with the fireman, he's trying to like almost course correct everything. That's my understanding. Like he's trying, like it wasn't always this way, and it shouldn't be this way. So I'm gonna try to we're gonna work and try to take Judy out because this isn't the way it would have operated without her influencing everything
and making these timelines all crazy and non-linear. So we're trying to get back on the straight and narrow.
It's like it's sort of now bubbling in my head that maybe like there was a time when Bob didn't exist and there wasn't like this crazy evil in the world, and it only and like maybe there's just like timelines, like a very, you know, there was just like infinite time, like a very large amount of timelines where everything was fine, like it was peace, like just things progressed, there wasn't any extreme evil, and then Judy sort of came from somewhere and started, you know, poisoning the well, poisoning the well, as it were. So maybe at what we're seeing and what we're living in is the Judy affected, you know, existence. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
That she affected like the evil.
Like she is the evil that
she is the evil
man.
that men do.
Yeah,
that makes sense. She's like the ultimate darkness.
Like you could say without the influence of Judy, men are inherently good. Like we just went on the straight and narrow. We, you know, lived our lives. We helped each other, and we did all this like things that almost are out of our realm of understanding because it's so pure.
That's kind of nice to think that we would all be such beautiful people and pure if there was no Judy. That our darkness isn't actually ourselves. It's actually this evil Judy being.
You see, now that messed me up. Yeah. So now I'm thinking maybe the place where everything is fine and dandy, and Judy enacted all this, you know, this evil in the world. I mean, I'm going to take a look at the comments really quick.
Yeah.
The excellence of part 8 and part 18, the future of it all, requires extensive growth, focus, and development within a new series. Exactly. That's why I think when Lynch says it could take a couple years for a new season,
yeah,
that makes sense. But I think there are small stories they could explore in the meantime, if they're willing.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing like a story about like Tulpa Dougie and Jenny E and Sunny Jim and what's going on with them.
To be honest, like I would take anything. I would get like a spin-off of the Mitchum brothers.
Oh my gosh, I would love that so much. We get like the candy show.
Amy Shields would love that, I'm sure. She's great.
I would love it.
Reggie says the pop-up store could be a good indication for a season 4 possibility. I don't think a network would do that for a canceled show. I mean, it doesn't seem to be direct promotion for the final dossier or like the Blu-ray. It's just and the season ended over a month ago now. So it's kind of it's strange. They're
still trying to keep the hype up.
It makes sense because Festival of Disruption have like Lynch theme things going on in the area, which I guess makes sense. But I don't know. To have it, I don't know. Cooper asking what year it is reveals that he realizes it's a dream, which will bring him out of the loop. I think maybe he messed up, or maybe it's not what he thought it was. I don't know.
Yeah.
We could go back into discussing what dreams are for another half hour. Yeah. Cameron says all the actors are still under NDAs, which is probably the most interesting piece of information. He said, which no one would know until I started talking. He's good at digging, getting the meat.
Cameron's good at this stuff.
Yeah. I wouldn't even know how to get that info. or lack of info, depending on which way you look at it. Walton says, in the way I understand it, those time inconsistent scenes were happening because because the story was being rewritten many times over. Yeah. I agree. Vincent said, I don't think we're meant to fully understand the power struggle between the spirits. The more that characters like Jeffries and Cooper get involved in the world, the harder they are to understand. Yeah, I definitely see that. Now we're understanding that Jeffries, Cooper's almost following the same line Jeffries probably was. The thing that kicks me still is the whole thing with the apartment, Judy's apartment.
I know.
I think that's going to be retcon. I think that's going to be sort of swept under the rug. But I think it's really funny.
It's almost kind of like the more they try to figure out time, the more it wreaks havoc on their lives. Like Jeffrey becomes a freaking steam kettle, and
don't call it a
Cooper. I know, it's not a freaking teapot. And
you know what? He's
some sort of steam thing, and
yeah. It's a machine.
He's some sort of machine, and
looks like a teapot.
Cooper's stuck in this. Yeah, he's stuck in this infinite loop of confusion, trying to do the right thing, and pretty much like basically giving up his own life to try and better humanity.
The infinite quest of Dale Cooper.
It's on this never-ending odyssey.
You like the Odyssey?
I do. I like to make that connection with Cooper and the Odyssey. I want to write a paper about it or something.
You should. There's probably a lot of good stuff in there. I read the Odyssey a long time ago. I was probably like 13. I need to give that a reread eventually when I have a year to myself.
Yeah. Just out in the woods, just go read the Odyssey.
If someone
I used to be so into Greek mythology. Like
me too. I lost so much of it. Like I don't know. I didn't retain it. Just
I
have a bad time retaining stuff like that. I remember weird things that like nobody has any business to remembering. Wilton says if someone messed up, it must have been Jeffries, not Cooper. Jeffries delivered the information from inside the T machine. I'll look it up for you. I think Jeffries did mess up.
Something wrong with his machine computer system.
It's slippery in here.
Slippery in here. He mistyped as while he was slipping, so he gave out the wrong information.
Reggie says Showtime actually called the season Cooper's Odyssey. I hadn't heard that, but that's it makes sense.
I like that.
Have you seen the Dougie sitcom parody on Twitter? Thought it was hilarious. No, I haven't. I don't think I have. I see a lot of things on Twitter.
Sounds amazing.
Which makes sense with the town of Odessa. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The female version of Odysseus.
Yep. And, I mean, there's two Odysseys going on, really. We have Laura's and Cooper's. Agent Cooper.
An Odessa and an Odysseus, both on their own journey.
But really, Danielle, aren't we all on our own little odyssey?
Yeah, we're on our own odyssey, trying to get home, but never getting there.
On our ships, poking out eyeballs.
We just keep encountering all these monsters.
Hanging on to the underbellies of sheep. That was Odysseus, right? I'm not making that up.
I think so. It's been so long since I read it.
Adamo says Judy appeared in the form of a skunk in Miss Houseman's room at the Great Northern from the very start. Yeah, I actually love skunks. So I refuse to believe a skunk is the root of all evil.
They're just scared.
One more thing to remember. Someone talked to Mr. Jeffries Albert from inside the Wyndham suitcase. That's right. I don't know. I don't know what they actually have plan for Jeffries or what they got rid of because of Bowie's situation. So I felt like they had to, adapt a lot of it, and it might not have been the original concept for the new
I know they originally had a lot of ideas for Jeffries, like for right after Fire Walk with Me, but then they didn't end up making.
And I know they had stuff. They had stuff for Bowie, for the return until they got the news.
Couldn't come back, and he was too self-conscious about his accent. Who is the mean person who made fun of David Bowie's accent and made him feel so self-conscious about it? Like, how dare they?
I mean, his reasoning seemed to be good. Like, he wanted to get somebody from the area with a natural, like, that's their God-given accent. Judy appeared in the form of a pine weasel, says Reggie. Oh, God. All right, I think we're getting a little too abstract here, guys. And I say that talking about Twin Peaks. Fireman says, remember 430. Okay, this is the next line.
Yeah.
Fireman says, remember 430. And we know 430 is, I believe, what the speedometer, not the counter said.
The miles.
Yeah, the miles.
The mile counter.
When they, went through the portal or whatever you want to call it, shifted through time. I'm trying to remember any other instances of 430. Nothing's coming up. It's been a month.
Yeah.
Since I watched episodes on repeat. So I'm a little.
I can't remember if there's anything significant that happened. Like if it's brought up, those numbers are brought up.
I mean,
any other time.
You could say 430 equals 7.
That's true.
Which is the number of scratches heard on the record.
Yeah.
And lucky 7.
Lucky 7.
7.
But, I can't think of anything in depth too much besides them being the mile counter.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can't think of anything. Richard and Linda is the next line. Obviously, we know Richard and Linda is Richard Horn, and then the Linda and the trailer, the vet. But then it's also Cooper and Diane. Unless there's a third Richard and Linda pairing.
Maybe there's infinite Richard and Linda.
I mean, yeah, there's profiler set odometer because we forgot the word odometer.
Yeah. Thank you. We don't remember words.
Reggie also says 420 is Jerry's favorite number, but it's 10 less. What? Yeah, 420 is blazing. What is 430? That's insane.
Yeah, that's like ultra blazing it. That's taking you to side B, the other dimension. That's like that much more.
That's the beyond. That's the infinite and beyond. That's 420 and beyond. Joe Wood just joined in and said, hi, guys. Hey, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey. So actually, 430 really isn't him going through another portal. It's just him tripping real hard.
Profiler says tripometer.
Beyond.
It's set to 430. He broke it. He broke the 420. Used to go just all the way to 420. It's like going to 11. Now he's going to 430. Bolton says ultra blazing would be 840. I think that's when you reach nirvana.
Yeah.
At 840. Here are all numbers up to 10 in the show. Will they give no solid answers? Forget it. They will give no solid answers. Forget it. I know. We're basically everything we do is just digging. Yeah,
we're just digging. We're trying to be nerds about numerology. It's fine.
Atomic Bomb was 5:29 Mountain Time, making the time in Twin Peaks 4:29, 1 minute before 430. That's what Rosenfield just said.
Okay.
Interesting. Adamo said skunk, penguin, zebra, lodge floor, Richard / Linda, black and white. I don't know how Richard and Linda are black and white. I mean, maybe metaphorically, abstractly, they could be black and white, but the thing about the atomic bomb is interesting, though, Rosenfield. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that. There's a whole. I mean, with Mark Frost, just in my breakfast stream alone, I did before the finale. People were just dropping all these nuggets of knowledge about like so much stuff about the atomic bomb. So much stuff.
That was such a good stream.
Like my mind was blown. I haven't retained a lot of that, but that was a long day. That was a very long day.
Yeah. And wasn't it in that stream where they pointed out that like the thing that Jeffries is actually in is kind of like a one-man bomb shelter.
Mm-hmm. It was like
I thought that was really interesting.
It's called a bell jar, right? I think that's what that is.
So. Something.
Do I sound silly right now? No, but well, a bell. It's a bell something. Bell jar is just like that actual, jar. But I forgot the name of the actual like thing that we're talking about. Mm-hmm. The bomb shelter.
I can't remember it.
But yeah, that's if you guys haven't seen that stream and you want like a lot of like really interesting nuggets of information, especially atomic bomb and like World War II related and stuff like that, watch the breakfast stream I did before the finale aired. So September 3rd, was it?
The finale. And if you want to watch them eat donuts that will make you envious for the rest of your days, then watch that too.
Yeah, those donuts were really good.
They look really good.
They were really good. Rosenfield says Andy's meeting with the farmer was to be at 4:30. That's right. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
Andy said it's 2:30. We'll meet in 2 hours. Okay. 4:30 is an important time. Lots of important stuff happening at 4:30.
Yeah, that's the time when important things happen.
Interesting. I'm curious what else aligns with 4:30. Thanks, Rosenfield, by the way. That's cool info.
It's good stuff.
Reggie said, which season do you like best?
I don't know if I have a favorite.
I couldn't answer. I love The Return a lot. Mm-hmm. The Return is like everything I want.
My favorite. But choosing between one and The Return, I couldn't do.
It's two different shows.
They are. They're so different that you can't even really compare them.
So I hope that answers your question, Reggie. We don't know, basically. We can't pick. Wilton says 429 isn't 430 though. If we extend that to every information in the show with regards to numbers, it can become becomes extrapolation. Only then does it become Wilton. Adamo says I miss Ike the Spike. Rip his arm off.
That was one mean little dude.
The blast may have reached Twin Peaks 1 minute after detonation. Interesting. See, I don't think I think Rosenfield has there is some weight there. So, I get you, Rosenfield. 2 has the best and worst episodes for me. I like season 2.
Me too.
The only thing that I wasn't into is the arc with James and that lady.
Yeah,
I forgot her name.
I forgot it too.
But that out of everything in season 2, that was my least favorite. I do like Ben Horn as a Confederate general though.
Yes, I love all that stuff.
Those scenes made me fall in love with Ben. I'm like he's mm-hmm. But without those scenes, we wouldn't have had the Ben in The Return.
No, we wouldn't. It helped kind of bring him down to earth and humanize him a little bit. I think having those struggles.
Like he had to go through that breakdown to come out of it. Rosenfield says, nah, it's the mileage. 1 minute after destiny. Oh, okay, I got you. I get what you're saying. Duh. Brain fart. He meant 1 minute as like the actual distance.
Oh, okay.
I was like I thought that was weird, but I didn't even question it. Season 1 had as many good episodes as season 2. Yeah, season 1 was great. Not every episode is a gem.
No.
But they're all it's all good.
It's also good.
Each season.
I need to go back and rewatch the first 2 seasons now that I'm finished with The Return.
I turned on Netflix the other day and I just kind of played Twin Peaks and just, went with wherever I left off last, and I'm like in the middle of season 2, which was interesting. Right, like I started on the episode where Josie gets stuck in the doorknob.
Oh yeah.
In the knob. Walton says season 1 has as many good. Oh, okay. Each season is its own entity, hard to compare, like choosing your favorite child.
It is.
Profiler says didn't like the James arc, was pointless.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm just not a super big James fan in general. I don't know.
But do I have to say it?
Love him.
Do I have to say it?
So, no. I know.
But Danielle.
James has
always been cool. Oh. Rosenfield said, I love season 2. Lynch's episodes were the best. 8, 9, 14, 29. Damn, see, I don't have that info locked and loaded. That's why we have Rosenfield, who has to come on to
everything.
He has to come onto the show at some point. James was always cool. I mean, I like James, but I just didn't like that arc.
Yeah.
James doesn't like James's arc. That was a good one, Walton. He just hates he's not wrong. He kind of hates the way his life went, especially with his mom and his dad. Like Joe Wood.
He's got that self-loathing stuff going on. Like, I'm so troubled.
So we have a pun in the comments section. And they get me. I feel a little tenseness in my gut. Puns make me feel real tense, Joe. Okay, so he says, Joey, in the spirit of your shirt, what's a pig's favorite movie? You know the answer, Danielle. What's a pig's favorite movie?
I don't know. You had to tell me.
He says Jurassic Pork.
Oh, the obvious.
Move along. Oh, I'm just kidding. All right. So we're almost to the end of the list. How long have we been going? I don't even know. There's no time here.
Yeah,
time doesn't exist.
A good amount. It's infinite timeline, infinite time. We don't know. It just goes on forever.
Somebody's asking you a question. They're saying, Danielle, what do you think about Cameron's theory of Mulholland Drive? You can badmouth him now that he's not hearing. I don't know. What is his theory on Mulholland Drive?
Let's see. His theory is that it's all happening.
Huh?
I think. Wait, I'm trying to remember.
I don't know. I still haven't watched the whole video you guys did.
His is a little out there, but I think his is that none of it is like really a dream. It's all happening. Whereas I think that it is all Diane is dreaming up Betty and having like this like guilt dream to help make her ideal life.
Okay. It's been a while since I watched it, but now well kind of watching The Return kind of changed my impression of what that was. I used to think it was maybe both, like dream and like just feeding into each other, but now I'm thinking it's just all a dream.
Yeah. That's another
Like,
Mulholland Drive thing. Like Cameron and I each had our own things, and then there was this kind of in between theory between the two of us that we would that some people think about. It's
now
like
I'm
a Venn
thinking that
diagram of Mulholland Drive idea.
now I'm thinking that yeah, that they're both dreams. They're just like these parallel dimensions or dreams. Like she did something right in this one that led her there. She did something wrong in this one that led her there. And maybe when
People were going after Cameron way bad with his theory. They didn't like it, but I thought he had some good points. Like it was not my personal theory, but it's like what he thought the first time that he watched it, and I think that there's merit to that because that's what David Lynch says. You know, like what you get out of it as a viewer is what's right for you. So
what I like with those movies, I could wait a couple years between watching it and like come up with a completely different theory. I could see it completely differently, which is interesting. Yeah.
But guys, if you want to go watch, me and Cameron did a watch along of Mulholland Drive like a little over a week ago. So go watch it. It was really good.
I have to watch it in pieces because
it was long.
It was. I mean, all these videos are long. I'm surprised anybody that's why I live stream them because you could come in and out. Yeah. I think the live streams are better for experiencing it that way, but somebody just cursed at us. They're not seeing it in the chat, but because he used profanities. Oh. Reggie says his theory is a little confusing. I don't know what it is. Like I don't know what his full theory is. But
it's just, Jason says if I remember different than what everyone else thinks, but it's what's good for him. So that's what's good. Yeah. How many times can I say good in one sentence?
It's good. It's really good. Good.
It's really good. It's good.
Jason says, if I remember correctly, Blue Box opening projected heading into Diane, who was Camilla's ex. I guess
if that's what you feel, then
it's like another portal. I could see it as so. You could, just like I'll open it for you with Jeffries. Yeah. The second half of Mulholland Drive is the alternate timeline that Cooper creates.
I was thinking the other day, I had the most outrageous idea. It's not even real, but I was like, what if it really is, Diane from Twin Peaks and she's she's having a dream, but she's projecting her sister to be Janie E being herself in her dream. And I was like, no.
It sounds ridiculous, but everything's on the table when you're dealing with multiple timelines and dreams and dimension. Yeah. It's just so it's great. It's like you could do so much with it, but it leaves everything so open. So you could like come up with any theory your heart desires.
Yeah, you could just come up with anything.
So yeah, sure, it takes place in the same. It's it's anything you want it to be.
Yeah.
Which is very Disney. Coming back to Disney. If your heart is in your dreams, no request is too extreme. See, dreams.
Dreams.
I wonder if I don't think I've ever heard him speak about Disney, but I wonder if he's like a big Disney fan. At least like the old Disney movies. I'm curious to know that.
I bet he is.
Like if I had won that Festival of Disruption thing and got to sit down with him, I think I would have asked him if he's like what his favorite Disney movies are.
Yeah.
And then we would know if Toy Story was was one of them.
That'd be perfect.
I want to know if David Lynch likes Toy Story. Laura and Ronette were there at Club Silencio after all.
Yeah, they were.
That's right.
I know it was definite. I'm pretty sure that is the actress who played Ronette there, and then just someone who looks like Cheryl Lee.
Also, American Girl. Reggie says, Danielle, you should do another Lynch watch along with Cameron and Joey. It was great. Maybe we could do the long story. That would be. I don't think he's done that one yet. The Straight Story.
Blue Velvet.
Blue Velvet. That was my first with Lynch, so that would be cool to do. I'll talk to him about it.
Movie.
I'm sure he would. I'm sure he'd be up for it. Both Diane and Candy equally are intense silence, mesmerizing as sculptural entities, very dreamy. I love Candy.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Bolton says Lost Highway watch along or Mulholland Drive reprise. 4 hours. Wilton says, "Whatever you lot do, I'll do my best to be here." Thank you, Wilton. That's really sweet. Jeez. And it's I always just thought it was just me rambling and being incoherent. Oh, that's right. ABC is Disney. Duh.
Oh yeah.
Reggie says Mulholland Drive was originally a Disney production. The pilot was distributed by ABC, a Disney company. I mean, I know CBS did the original Twin Peaks, but it premiered on ABC.
Yeah. But if you go and watch that stream I did with Cameron, he talks all about the original pilot that David made for when it was Mulholland Drive was supposed to be a TV show. And the whole
is that available? Can you find the pilot anywhere? I don't think I've ever seen it.
I think so.
I still have to finish watching On the Air. All right, so the comments slowed down a little bit, so maybe we could.
We've gone on too many tangents. Everyone's lost.
Did we do two birds with one stone yet?
No, we haven't even done two birds with one stone yet.
I'm almost too tired to even get into it. Adamo says Mulholland Drive is Lynch's signature perfect second to Eraserhead. Every single frame. I mean, I think Mulholland Drive is Blue Velvet or Mulholland Drive is my favorite.
Same.
Eraserhead is a solid third place for me, but Blue Velvet and Mulholland Drive are constantly. All That Heart is good too, though. Lost Highway is the only one that I didn't like. I don't know.
I love Blue Velvet. I'm just a sucker for Isabella Rossellini. I think she is so wonderful. I love her.
Oh yeah, I agree.
There's actually this movie that even before I became a Lynch fan, there's this movie called Cousins from the 1980s. And my friends always see the cover of the DVD and they're like, is that an incest movie? And I'm like, no, I promise it's not. But it's so good. It's her and Ted Danson and then Angelo Badalamenti score. It's so good.
I've seen it. I saw it a long time ago, but I've seen it.
Yeah. It's actually one of my favorites. It's kind of cheesy, but great.
I have to watch it. I love cheesy.
I also just love Ted Danson.
Huh?
I love Ted Danson, though, also. I'm a big Cheers fan, so.
Cousins.
It's good. So, guys, if you want to watch a Isabella Rossellini, Angela Badalamenti movie without Lynch, it's good. I promise it's not an incest movie.
I haven't. Oh my god, the DVD's going for $35.
What?
Jeez.
I have 2 in my room right now because I stole my mom's on accident.
You have pure gold then.
Yeah.
People are saying Blue Velvet will do it. I'll bring the Heineken, or is it Pabst Blue Ribbon? I can't drink Pabst.
Oh no. I have like too many bad memories of drinking Pabst from when I like first turned 21 and everyone's like PBR beer pong. No.
Maybe I'm too snobby about my beer, but no. PBR is liquid Garmonbozia, pure corn juice. Depends if you're classy. I like Heineken. I do. Actually, if I had my choice, I wouldn't go with either of those. But I'm more Sam Adams, I think. Actually, no, I like Goose Island. I like the Chicago stuff. Somebody says, Reggie says, Wild at Heart is better than Mulholland Drive for me. There's a lot of people that are kind of not into Lost Highway. Interesting. I guess that's not just me. I love Patricia Arquette though, so I don't know what it is about that movie. It's probably
no one's favorite is Dune. What's going on?
Dune was not even mentioned. There's no Dune talk whatsoever. They need to get the dude that did Blade Runner to redo Dune, or is that too similar? Okay. Have you seen Blade Runner yet?
No, I want to so bad.
I
need to. They're doing $5 movie night tomorrow, so I'll probably go check it out there.
Make sure you have nothing to do for the whole night because that movie's long.
Yeah.
Reggie says doesn't like Lost Highway, can't get through it, and then Wilton says that's the point. It's a road that leads nowhere inside your wildest nightmare. Mm-hmm. The problem with Lost Highway is I'm like a baby. Like when somebody drives on the road at night. So the first time I watched Lost Highway, I actually fell asleep. Like I was on the road in a car at night. Like I just knocked out. So I had to like try to watch it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, because that is just kind of like a soothing
And those shots are really long sometimes, and there's not like a lot of. It's not like in The Return where it was that really hard drum that.
Yeah.
The American Woman thing. Mm-hmm. It was just like you just see the road winding underneath you. May the road rise up to meet your wheels. Wally Brando.
I love that. I actually really love the Michael Cera scene, like a lot.
I'm a sucker for Michael Cera. Yeah, it's funny. For sure.
I think it's funny. And like all the Brando references, him trying to be Brando from the Wild Ones, and it's just funny to me.
Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist in Twin Peaks. See, that movie's underrated. I love that movie.
I actually love it too. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I watched it a lot when I was in high school.
Me too. Scott Pilgrim came out after I was out of high school, but that's another one of my favorite Michael Cera ventures.
I'm a big Arrested Development fan, and George Michael's my favorite character, so.
Wait, Reggie said Dune is being remade by the Blade Runner 2049 director. It's officially announced.
What?
So what I just said is actually happening.
Your dream just came true.
Is it Lynch or is it
dreamer?
Disney? Walt Disney's the dreamer. He's the ultimate dreamer. He came up with all.
Yeah.
Rosenfield, I saw your video. I saw your Lynch films video. I did. I saw it. Jason says he's been obsessed with Lost Highway since '97. I need to give it another shot. It's been a long time. I might think differently now. Maybe in a post-return world, I'll appreciate it more. Mean Teen Coma said, kind of underwhelmed with the return. Even though you're underwhelmed now, I'm not gonna like say, well, like you're wrong or something. But I think maybe in a couple of years, come back to it, see how you feel. Because that's how I felt about Twin Peaks in general. Because I didn't like it the first 2 times I saw it. I didn't even finish it. I was like, this is slow. I don't want it. And then I came back to it when I was like maybe 23 or 24, and I loved it. So I'm 26 now. Maybe it was early. Maybe I was 21. Elephant Man. Have you seen Elephant Man?
That's what I still haven't seen yet.
Watch that one. That
Like a
one's really
classic Lynch that I need to see.
Anthony Hopkins and John Hurt. John Hurt is. I love John Hurt. He's so good. He sells the whole thing with his eyes, and it's like he didn't even have to. They didn't have to give him any lines. You could just see his eyes. He just does it so well. After I finished seeing that movie for the first time, I just like I was telling everybody like John Hurt's eyes. You just look at his eyes, so good.
I'm always so amazed at these actors and actresses who can just portray so much emotion just through their eyes. Like Cheryl Lee, what she can do with her big staring eyes is unreal.
But especially in the car scene, and then the scene right before she's about to scream, where she's like,
She just
and
does
then you
that.
can see the realization, like she's actually realizing.
It's so good. I have goosebumps just thinking about it.
I know. Like the first time I saw it, I felt like just like that it shoot through me. She just goes like, and that where she's looking, and then she does the blink and looks down. That part, I was like, oh,
yes,
God, that's real.
Oh, she's so talented.
That's why they need to do season 4, just because I want more of her.
I want more,
and not her as Maddie, not her. I want her as Laura, like Harry Page. Laura. I want this version. I want to see a lot of this version.
Yes, I love Laura. She is such a complex and wonderful character. I love her so much. I want to see more of her.
Yeah. I'm sure you're preaching to the choir here, but
I know I am. I'm just.
It's just nice to talk about though, just like the fantasy.
Bringing up, just talking about my love.
Wilton says Villanova is shooting Dune. Holy crap! Did you see Arrival?
Mm-mm.
That's another one. I love Arrival. The soundtrack is really great too.
I've been bad at seeing movies lately.
It's okay. I go through phases. I'll go through phases where I like won't watch anything. I'll just watch like sitcoms and stuff, and then I'll like binge on movies, which is probably why I don't retain anything.
Yeah.
Which is why binging is good, and it's also not good if you want to actually retain what you watched, learned.
Yeah. I haven't seen like any. When I go to the theaters lately, I don't go and see like blockbusters. I go to like see the little indie ones. Those are like the ones I've wanted to see lately. I don't know.
Watch Blade Runner.
I know I need to.
That's a blockbuster you want to see. It's a blockbuster with the feel of an indie movie, I would say. But then again, not because it's so massive and Harrison Ford is there.
Yeah. Honestly, I will watch anything with Harrison Ford. He was my first love. So
understandable completely.
Yes.
You might have been one of mine too.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have a crush on Han Solo?
He's everyone's first love. Harrison Ford.
Like Carrie Fisher? Psh. No, I love Carrie Fisher.
Han Solo.
Just have a crush on everybody.
That was
Indiana
my
Jones
jam when I was little. I was like, I love him. I'm gonna marry him. Indiana Jones.
Now he's with Callista Flockhart.
Yeah, I love her.
I miss her on Supergirl. All right, but we're going on a tangent.
I don't know. Yeah, Ally McBeal was my jam. There we go.
Oh gosh. Let's see, where were we? Now people are talking about Lost Highway.
2 birds, 1 stone.
2 birds, 1 stone. Well, Wilton says Arrival, one of the best films ever. Love it. Watch it. Amy Adams is great in it. Villanova is great. Dune is in the right hands. I agree. Get Hans Zimmer to do the soundtrack for Dune as well.
Yes.
Reggie says Blade Runner 2049 is just okay, not as good as the first. I'm sure
you just can't compare them, probably.
Yeah, they feel like 2 different worlds. I mean, not 2 different worlds, but they're very different. Like I don't know if I could compare them. Okay, 2 birds, 1 stone. So, what do you think that one's about?
I struggle with this one. I don't know. Honestly, I have no real theories that I adhere to for 2 birds, 1 stone.
Well,
I don't know. Maybe it's like him trying to take out Judy and save Laura.
I think that's
2 birds with 1 stone. 1 trip, take care of both of these things. That's kind of my main thing. I'm still kind of ambiguous to me.
I think that's the consensus, because I'm subscribed to the same thing. 2 birds, 1 stone.
When you're in the Richard and Linda world, you can take care of these 2 things.
I'm trying to think of any sort of poetic or metaphorical things where that would apply as well. 2 birds, like imagine 2 birds and one's like for, I don't know. But why is 1 bird evil and 1 bird Laura? I mean, I get it that it's supposed to be like 2 birds take 1 out with a stone. I don't know. I want to go with that theory. That theory you said was my main one, but I want to kind of pull back even further and see what that would look like. Like why are they 2 like of the same flock? I'm probably going way too.
Let's look up let's read about birds and how they live, and then we'll come back.
I mean, try to think of. I mean, birds use stones for their. Never mind, for their nests, right? I
wanted to like put some owl stuff in there because owls are birds, but I haven't really come up with anything.
I mean, 2 owls with 1 stone.
I don't know. Yeah, or the power lions are like owls, so.
I mean, you could say
2 power lines.
What stone is prevalent in Twin Peaks? That's a stone.
Yeah.
And only 1 can go free. So.
That's true. You could put some
2 birds, but only 1 can go free if they have the stone.
Ooh.
So. It could be that
rings.
Huh? I mean, we know that Cooper he wasn't supposed to leave until Bad Cooper was in, so 1 stone, 2 birds.
2 rings.
Could have been that too.
Both have owls on them.
2 birds, 1 It's true. See, that could be another.
The stones is real. One of them's out of Formica.
That's right. One of them is out of a manufactured substance made in 1920. I remember I looked it up once. I actually did the weird background research.
Yeah.
2 birds.
I have a Formica table. That's my grandma's that she gave to me. Someday when I have my own place, I'll have a Formica table.
And just dig out a little section of it, just to
dig out a little section to make a ring.
Make a ring, yeah. I haven't seen one of those tables in a long time. It's always older people that have them.
But this one's cool. It's like gray with like yellow swirls on the side. It's like kind of unique. It's cool.
Oh shoot! See, I always actually see the green ones. Those are the ones I always see, but it's close. Weird swirly one.
Yeah.
I haven't seen those before. Somebody says, were there 3 Dianes or 2? I mean,
I've wondered the same thing.
They're what? I mean, you could count the tulpa, and then there's 3. Or is the one that she sees at the hotel, is that like another one, or is that her like
completely different? I've been wondering the same thing myself. If there's 2, or maybe there's infinite Dianes. There's just a whole bunch popping up everywhere. Diane's for the picking.
Okay.
No, not really, but
okay.
Let me just spew out these stupid ideas that I'm really just joking.
You know, you gotta let it flow, because that's how you get to the good stuff.
The flow of.
We wouldn't have gotten to a Toy Story Infinite and Beyond if we hadn't done that. Just being ridiculous. Somebody said, Wilton says, the stone being the ring strikes a bell. Makes some sense. Even if it doesn't fit the hole, makes sense. I mean, it's the only stone like that we actually like that recurs and we see. So that's the only other thing besides like taking out two birds, like with one stone. Could just be that other two owls, one stone, two owl rings. One is made of stone. I don't know. Because usually when people say two birds, one stone, it's like there's like usually something that comes before that, taking out two birds with one stone or something like that. But it's just two birds, one stone. It's like intentionally missing.
It's like, what are you doing with the stone and the birds?
That's why nothing. Always have to. There's always like another. You could always come up with another 2 or 3 theories behind everything.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Once the shadow has been integrated, you're ready to face the mother, which represents inescapable suffering like death and disease. Adamo says Fellini's Roma illustrates a portrait of the city in a non-conventional narrative fashion, as Twin Peaks Season 3 delivers vignettes in the same manner. I could see Lynch taking a page from Fellini. Walton Brave says, because Cooper wasn't there with the giant, he was far away in another lodge. They were communicating telepresently. Yeah, that's the thing. Why does he say? Well, we're not there yet. We'll get there. Wasn't the ring made from formica table though? Fire walk with me. There was a ring made of formica table, but there also was a ring that was made way before that.
Like Lewis and Clark had.
Yeah, and formica was not even invented. Like that didn't come out till like the last century or so. So
it's like been there since like the beginning of time, I'm sure.
I mean, again, though, maybe it is a formica table, and like time, he went back and
could, I mean, we've been talking about how there's no past or present, and it's all the same.
It could have been, he could have just walked out through somebody could have walked through the lodge and ended up, with the Nez Pierce, and here you go.
Yeah.
Take the ring to Mordor. Okay, so the next one is I understand. Cooper says, I understand. That's the next line. So again, this is like, where's Cooper in this study? Is it acknowledgement? Is it I understand?
Does he really understand?
Like, does he already know? Does he already know what he's talking about, or is he acknowledging that he gets it and he's going to move on with that information?
It's like, I've retained this information, and now I'm going to go on my mission and find out
I understand
the meaning behind it.
So then that's another one you could just. It's now looking at this line for line. You could just realize how vague and abstract all these lines actually are, and how they're intentionally missing things. Again, it also just makes for a very ominous conversation when you have these very short sentences that are missing things. So it makes for good mystery TV. Talking so much.
It does. Like, I'm a sucker for ambiguity. I love it. So I like it when things are intentionally left kind of open, and I can just kind of read into it in so many different ways. I think there's a lot of fun in that.
Yeah. I mean, or else these things, nobody would watch these things if they weren't also curious. So Joe Wood said, you really want to F with this. Sarah Palmer or Judy. Reggie says, will you be doing videos on each individual scene? That could take years. No, just the first one, because I thought it was super interesting, especially since we're unsure where that scene takes place. I think the first scene is just a standout scene for so many reasons.
We just do a 3-hour stream about the guy sweeping in the roadhouse for 5 minutes.
You could count how many times he sweeps left and how many times he sweeps right and go from there. Rosenfield says, when Coop says, I understand, I replied, you do? You know what? It's good to be skeptical of him. Because Cooper could be a little overconfident sometimes.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing, is he's so ready for this mission and to go and try and save everyone that I think maybe he's a little overzealous to go start, even if he's not quite prepared yet.
Cooper might be taking on the task to get rid of Judy, but the one that might be able to actually do it is probably Laura. She is the one. Cooper thinks he's the one, but it's probably Laura.
It probably
it is Laura.
Yeah.
Log Lady. Anything Log Lady says is gospel. So
yes. In Log Lady we trust.
R.I.P. Profiler says, does Cooper talk to the fireman just before the events of part 7 and 8? And how does Coop know about Freddy? That's a good question.
Yeah.
I still don't know. That's the only thing that makes me think it doesn't take place after it's not the first episode of season 4, if there is one, because he already knows about Freddy.
But also, if you think that he and the firemen have had lots of talks before this and maybe have been building up to this before the conversation we see, maybe he talks about Freddy before that. But
maybe he sees like one of those.
Honestly.
Maybe he sees one of those like slideshows, like he shows Andy.
Oh yeah, maybe.
There's a lot we just don't know. So kind of just have to resign to it. We could talk our heads off, but
yeah,
it'll all be, speculation.
It'd be interesting to do a stream about the Andy scene with the fireman and what he sees.
I'd be up for that.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff to unpack there.
That smoking little...
Watch it, honestly.
I
need to rewatch it. It's been
same here. Bolton says, from the words of Jeffries and Cole, what the giant is saying is to reinforce Cooper the need to remember the plan, 2 birds, 1 stone, etc. I mean, yeah, that's sort of what I thought in the beginning. Just like, this is what's happening. This is what we're going to do from this point on. But I don't know. Like, because when he reads the letter Richard and Linda that Diane leaves in the new timeline, he seems to... See, this is another thing. How do you interpret that scene? Is he confused, or does he, does it click for him?
I think there's maybe like a little amnesia that comes with being in Judy's world, and I think he has to try and work past it a little bit.
The thing with that, I think he's becoming Richard.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some merging going on between Richard and Coop.
Yeah, that's what I think. Cooper is Richard in that world. He doesn't become Dale. He's Richard. It'd be interesting to see if afterward, if he goes to talk to the fireman and the fireman calls him Richard instead of Agent Cooper.
That would be interesting.
Because then he's Richard now. But if he still calls him Agent Cooper, that means Agent Cooper's like Prime. Like, that's the first version of him. Agent Cooper Prime. Richard is the fake offshoot. He's a spinoff that nobody cares about. That gets canceled after 1 season. Bolton says the giant is running through it all again. He speaks the least as possible because it's ritual among people who don't know what they are talking about. The audience doesn't need to be cued in all the time. I agree. Reggie says Toy Story stream. That'd be cool. Yes. That'd actually be pretty cool. Toy Story watch along.
That would be awesome.
Maybe. I've always wanted to do more Disney streams. So Joe Wood says, make it happen, Lynch. You got a friend in me. We just put it out in the world and it's off and running.
Yeah. I mean, your dream just came true about Dune, so
I know. I didn't even know
just
that
dream
was
it up,
happening.
Joey, and it will come true.
Yeah, I figured it wouldn't because they're just so similar, but I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
Mentine Coma says, I suggest you guys check out what Carl Jung has to say about the psychological different significance, of the shadow self, the mother archetype, and rebirth. I did.
I'm a little familiar with that.
Same here, but it's been a while since I did all that digging.
Yeah, it's been a while since I took my psychology courses in college. I need to go have some refreshers.
Sign up for a refresher course.
Yeah.
Wilton says, since the story is being rewritten so many times, it's natural to have amnesia as one of the possible side effects. I could see that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it's like to rewrite a timeline, but I can see that. Not to sound condescending. Mm-hmm. The true story of Twin Peaks Season 3 is the ambiguity of time, memory, and identity, which isn't surreal at all in real, actual life. Yeah, I agree.
I love that. Yeah, that's on the money.
That's literally where I think that's where that whole we live inside a dream thing comes in, because it's just reality is warped based on whatever the heck is going on with this thing. And like your reality can be way different depending on what's happening in there. So again, playing with the idea of what dreams are in general. It's not just something you wake up from. That's just
it's seeping into your life.
Mm-hmm. A living dream. A lot like when you're on the road, like a Lost Highway scenario, and you're driving, and it just feels there's like this just surreal feeling of driving at night when there's like no lights on the road, and you're just like headlights, and it's just you feel like you're going through like some kind of tunnel or portal. So there's a lot of those kind of moments in real life too. Mm-hmm. The cowboy in Mulholland Drive is Woody's doppelganger. We put this out in the world, and now it's when did Toy Story actually? I think Toy Story came out in '96. I
feel like that's true.
95. And Mulholland Drive came out in 2001. So, and there you have it, folks. Mulholland Drive is just Toy Story.
Yep. Woody's Roundup. We're just gonna go round up Judy.
Yep, pretty much. Cooper with his lasso.
Yep. Cooper's Roundup. Come on, Twin Peaks to play. There's Laura. The scream. I don't know.
The screaming teenager.
Yeah.
Mentine Coma says Wally Brando is the dreamer. He's one of them.
Yeah. Dharma's his road, his dream.
Wilton Abreu says, while other shows out there do the opposite, they try to show portrayal of reality as if it is reality. But reality is so abstract, it comes off almost like plastic in a lot of ways. Interesting. Okay. So Coop says, I understand. We have one line left.
We got there. It took us.
Fireman says, you are far away. And then he zaps out. So where is far for the fireman? That's the question I'm asking. Why is Cooper far to him?
I wonder.
He can just pop up anywhere, right?
Yeah. You are far away. So is he not really there?
I mean, you could say he's in non-existence, and that would be pretty far, right?
Yeah, that's pretty far.
He's far gone. Maybe that's what he means.
Far away. Yeah, maybe. Meaning he's losing himself.
Maybe.
You kind of get that a little bit.
Like, Cooper, you are far away. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Dude, you're losing the Coop side of yourself. You're Agent Cooper now. You're not Dale anymore.
It's almost like he's telling him who he is.
Mhm.
Now coming, think of Agent Cooper.
Agent Cooper.
Listen to the sounds. Like he's reminding him almost.
Guess what? You keep doing the wrong thing over and over again and losing yourself. You're far away. Now you gotta listen to me and do what I tell you.
Is that teleporting thing time locked? Does the fireman send him out, or does Cooper leave on his own when he fizzles out? That's what I want to know. Or is it the watchtower itself throwing him out? If it's sentient, like the hotel from The Shining.
Could be. Maybe that's what the watchtower really is. It's the
that's the creature, and
that's the creature.
The fireman maybe is like the butler or something.
Yeah. Oh.
You want to hear something funny? This is what people are telling me. You know Rashida Jones, right?
Oh yeah.
She's Peggy Lipton's daughter.
Yeah.
She's writing Toy Story 4.
Wait, I knew that. How could I forget? That's oh my gosh.
Karen from The Office is writing Toy Story 4. Incredible.
And Perkins.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Oh my gosh, how funny. No, I want Peggy Lipton to do some voice acting.
That would be great. You know what? Maybe.
I want her and Quincy to go and do some voice acting in there.
They should play Jesse's parents.
Yes.
Like for some reason, Jesse's parents are real.
Yeah. Peggy Lipton and Quincy Jones. Come on, let's do Jesse's parents.
Profiler says, Rosenfield says Coop zaps out of the scene, so he seems to be physically far away too. I mean, yeah, I really don't know. I'm stumped for that one. You're far away. Yeah. I don't know.
Far away.
You'd be physically, mentally.
Physically, he's far away.
Maybe he's like far into a plane that the fireman can't reach. Like if he goes too far, that's it.
Can the fireman go into the red room?
I mean, he was there as the giant.
Oh yeah. Okay.
As the giant. I mean, we're assuming it's the same character. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure it's the same character. But Profiler says, I don't think the fireman belongs to any specific lodge. He belongs and can be anywhere and everywhere. I feel like his range of motion is not actually that large, because we've only seen him in like a handful of places. Mm-hmm. Like
but you gotta think about his name. He's the fireman, and what do firemen do? They put out the fires. He's going and trying to fix like what's going wrong.
There's a fire where you're going.
There's a fire. He's trying to fix stuff.
Yeah.
Put out the fires.
Simply putting out the fires of the universe, or existence, rather. Profiler says, yeah, he's Lurch. Yeah. I mean, the black and white, like, very Addams Family-esque, with Senorita Dido, or Dido, white flag. I want to thank you for giving me the best day of my life. That's the first time I saw her name. I automatically go to Dido.
Same.
Lodge is the name people put on those places. There are probably hundreds of different places, I'm sure. Like I've been calling that what some people call the White Lodge, I've been calling it the Watchtower.
I don't think
beginning is the end, like Lost Highway. It's complicated.
It's infinite.
Are there beginnings, ends? We have to define what beginning and end is. Is there a middle? Like, just get into all those really abstract questions. People call that place the Black Lodge, but most of them don't have a clue about it. Coop is one of the few who found out. It's funny because I believe when we did the finale stream before on Cameron's channel, Sabrina Sutherland, when we said the Black Lodge, she didn't understand. Like, I don't think she got what we were talking about. She goes, "Oh, the waiting room." So maybe we haven't even seen the Black Lodge yet.
I don't think we have.
Because it's the waiting room.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't.
Yeah, that's just
nobody's
the
gone.
step to get. That's where you go to wait to get in. That's just the step before, actually.
I don't think.
Stepping inside.
Do you think Bob and the man from another place got through? I don't think Bob got through the Black Lodge.
I don't think so.
He would have been annihilated.
No.
That's why they're just in the waiting room. They're cowards.
Mm-hmm.
I've said this before, but I think the spirits of the lodge aren't as intimidating. And we talked about this before, especially with the ball. I don't think they're as intimidating as they might have seemed in the first 2 seasons. I think they're cowards.
I think so. They're just these spirits stuck in the waiting room, like the in-between place. They're not even the extremes to be inside the either lodge. They're just stuck in between.
Yeah, it's like their own purgatory.
Mm-hmm.
Or they don't want to go on because they, I don't know. Then you get into the psychology of these creatures, beings, whatever you want to call them. Mentine Coma says, yeah, I think he's telling him he's not Cooper anymore. His disappearance from the White Lodge is similar to the disappearance of Laura's body. Oh, yeah, that's right. That fizzling. Because when Laura, when the body disappeared, did the same thing. That sort of glitching out kind of effect.
Yeah.
I think that's the moment they both go to Odessa or something. Possibly.
Could be.
I think there's a lot of jumping timelines and dimensions, or dimensions are timelines, I guess.
Who knows what's happening when and where and what timeline. And
you just have to question your definition of it, or perception or understanding of all that stuff. The actor who plays the fireman is the villain for what I think is probably the best horror film of 2017, Stephen King's Gerald's Game. Is that what it's called? Highly recommend. Yes, I've seen photos of it on Twitter. He looks pretty creepy. I could watch 8 more hours of Buella and Otis at the Potato Moonshine Shack. What is that? I think the Black Lodge is the place where Cooper met the American Girl. I think that's still in that same plane as the Watchtowers with the Purple Ocean. And then all of a sudden it was in the sky, though. It was in space. Remember, like, he fell into that thing, walked in, and then all of a sudden they were in.
And then all of a sudden
space.
He's in this teeny little space thing that is like totally different sides of the room he was just in. And there's Garland Briggs' big face, and but then she falls off. I think it must have been somewhere in the reality of Twin Peaks, because she falls off and falls down to Earth, where they find her later.
That's right, yeah. Nido.
But I don't know, unless she goes through some kind of portal, which I guess is also true. I don't know.
I don't. That's a subject for another video. How did Nido get back?
Maybe when he goes through.
Why doesn't she have clothes?
Yeah, I don't know. She's going through the atmosphere to get burned off.
I guess, but she's not. She's like perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't actually thought about that really in depth.
Me either.
I don't think there's probably nothing there. It's probably just Lynch just, cutting the cheese.
Let's make her naked.
Huh?
I'm like, let's just make her naked. That sounds good.
Sure. Vulnerability, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Came out of this world, go out of this world the way you came in, except you were out and now you're coming in. So you came into this world.
You're coming in, except you're not really a person. You're just holding Diane. So
vessel, yeah.
You're a vessel. I couldn't remember the word vessel for a minute.
Wilton says, that's how I used to understand too, but remember Annie's message and Laura's page.
Mm.
I am with Dale in the Black Lodge. Oh, right. That's right. Annie says Dale in the Lodge.
Oh, yeah.
She just says the Lodge, I think.
Yeah.
I'm with Dale. I'm with the good Dale in the Lodge, and he can't leave or get out. That's right. So I guess it is the Black Lodge.
Yeah.
Well, she just says the Lodge.
Yeah.
Very casual about it.
I don't know. She's all bloodied up too. Maybe she just didn't have the time to say he's in the Lodge waiting room.
Oh, we're messing. Profiler says I was always confused as to why the waiting room was considered by some to be the Black Lodge. Thanks for clarifying. I mean, it's possible that Annie was confused too.
Maybe. She probably had no idea because, I mean, Cooper went into the waiting room at least having some kind of knowledge of where he was going and maybe kind of encountering a bit. But Annie went in there knowing nothing.
That's true. So, like, how would she know it's a lodge at all?
Yeah.
Who would have told her?
I don't know about Annie sometimes, but I don't know.
How's Annie?
Sometimes I
ultimate question. That's a stream all in itself.
Yeah.
Good Dale is trapped in the Black Lodge. Does she say Black Lodge or does she just say Lodge?
I need to rewatch Firewalk.
Now people are saying, Reggie said, I wonder if Sabrina actually understands any of Lynch's stuff. I'm sure she does. She's executive producer. She's really nice too. So
yeah,
I'll cut her some slack. Adamo says, Joey, how can you forget Buella and Otis in the best Mr. C scene? I'm like totally spaced out.
Wait, does he mean Beulah?
Beulah, wow. That was my bad. I'm mispronouncing it. Beulah. Beulah.
Okay, yeah, Beulah. She's great.
Wow.
It's like
I've never seen that. I've honestly never seen that name written out like that. This is like the first time I'm seeing it like written. Interesting. Beulah and Otis. Now I understand. Now I know. Yeah. I was totally misreading that. Dodoy. There was an awesome Nido at Twin Peaks UK Fest, apparently. I really have to go look through that stuff.
I saw a picture of her. She looked amazing. Yeah, I saw someone posted it on Twitter. I think she won a prize for her costume. Like, she got first place in the costume contest.
Huh. I have to check that out. Guys, if you don't follow me on Twitter, follow me and send me the stuff. At Joey Pedras. And then you're at Hella Danielle, right?
Yeah, Hella_ Danielle.
Go to the Twitter,
Obviously,
guys.
the handle I made in high school when Hella was cool to say.
I still say Hella.
I know, me too.
See? No shame. All right, so Wilton says, that's what I am talking about. People call it the Lodge. Don't have a clue, though. I think it's just Lodge, but whatever. That's not. Maybe they're one and the same.
Maybe.
Again.
Maybe the waiting room is just the in-between place. Like, they're connected, but they have this waiting room in between.
I don't think they exist.
You could go either direction. I don't know.
I'm starting to think they don't even exist. I'm starting to think the lodges are just like, where you go in your brain.
Could be just headspace. Like what?
Like your own manifested afterlife kind of thing. Because the whole thing to enter the White Lodge is facing your shadow self, and if you face it with imperfect courage, your soul will be annihilated. So it's like all about dealing with yourself anyway. So that's why I'm thinking maybe it's just some kind of thing in here. I don't know. That's just a theory. I'm not saying that for sure. It might be like a place that exists in Twin Peaks or that universe, but
that's an interesting idea.
I find it funny that Beulah was one of the first characters you see in the trailer. Uh,
That's true.
I just really want to pronounce it Buella.
Sounds like you're gonna say abuela or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I read it, Buella. Like, but it's Beulah. Reggie, I did not see the UK Fest videos, unfortunately. I only saw some of the performances. I didn't see any of the conferences or anything, or the talks. Rosenfield says Annie's message says Lodge. Sarah's message Brig. Oh, Sarah's message to Briggs says, "I'm in the Black Lodge with Dale Cooper. I'm waiting for you." Right.
Can't hear it again.
So I guess it is Black Lodge.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe in the final dossier we'll get clarification.
Yeah.
Which I feel like I read somewhere that the final dossier is supposed to be sort of an understanding of the weird supernatural elements of Twin Peaks. Like,
yeah,
I could see Tammy Preston looking into all that stuff after the events of The Return.
Mm-hmm.
Since I think
after. Oh yeah, sorry. You keep going.
Since I think the dossier takes place after The Return as well,
mm-hmm.
or maybe during. But then there's all those inconsistencies in the dossier, which are.
That's what I was going to say. About in the secret history, there's so many inconsistencies and weird things.
But that could be due to the time.
I think you and I talked in our last stream after the finale that now we just wonder if it's all like different timelines taken and put into this book, and it's just a whole conglomerate of different timelines and planes put into. It's different Twin Peaks in one history. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, that's the idea I'm subscribing to for now. That it's just all those inconsistencies are due to frayed timelines. Wilton says there are multiple simultaneous levels of interpretation. That's the point. It's one thing and also another thing. The brain has two hemispheres, intuitive and logical, black and white lodges. Intuition, imagination resides in the Black Lodge, dreams and nightmares. But there are also different dimensions to bend philosophy in a world that exists apart. That's the thing. It's like there's so many things it could be. And then he says many things at once. Yeah.
Definitely.
You could even say the lodges are like almost, they could have been like a glitch. Like, and they got frozen, they got stuck. So it's like this place that exists in between worlds.
Yeah, it could be.
Oh God. It's like a glitch place that, in between two worlds. Just rolled my eyes at my own theory.
I've done that a couple times in this stream. So
God. Sometimes it's just so whatever, it's fun. It's all for good fun.
You've got to talk it through. Even once you start, you gotta keep going, even if it's dumb.
Rosenfield says, I think all the spirits passing through the lodges are judged on their way to perfection, but if the person who is actually alive goes in, love and fear affect it. I mean, we saw that happen with Cooper. I believe that. Let's see. Adamo says, I can't believe it took 5 years to write this when there's next to no dialogue in most scenes. Example, Diane says F you 4 times in total. Is it just 4 times? I feel like it was so many.
I also rewatched so many times.
I rewatched it so many times. So
I know.
Ideas and dreams in our brains travel through electricity. Yep. Those synapses.
I was just gonna say that.
All right. So I think maybe we reached the end of that first scene.
We did it.
After, I think, 3 hours. It's already 12:11 where I am. So if you guys throw out any last questions or theories you have, if you don't have any, then we're going to end it for today. I don't know why I'm doing this. I need to stretch a little bit. Wax on, wax off. All right, guys. So thanks for watching. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, subscribe, because there's obviously more videos coming. The season's over, and I feel like I always say this, but I feel like we're just getting started. There's so much to break down.
Dossier coming.
Yeah, in 14 days now. It was 15 when we started the stream, and now it's 14.
Yeah.
On my
it's a new day. Not quite me yet, but.
Thanks, guys, for watching. Now my voice is going hoarse. Appreciate you. Love seeing some of the old faces, some new faces here. Thanks for watching, guys. Good night. Talk to you soon. Danielle, any last words?
All right. Thanks for having me on. I always love talking about Twin Peaks. It's the best.
And we'll have you on again. Hopefully we could figure out something where we could all talk, and maybe talk with Cameron and some others. I know some other people that have talked to me about wanting to come on and share their thoughts. So we have somebody from Australia, Nadine from Australia, that wants to come on, but that time difference is rough.
That's a rough one.
Yeah,
that's rough.
We were really playing it by ear with that one. So if you ever see like a surprise stream on the weekend, that's why, because I'm commuting, telecommuting with somebody from Australia. And we'll have others on again. Maybe one time we could get everybody on at once, and
that'd be
it could be chaos. I want Rosenfield on. I think he might have left, but I know I watch his videos too. He's great. He has a lot of good nuggets. He's been watching it since it started too, so he has all that original info. All right, guys. My stomach. I shall see you very soon. Thanks for watching again to one of these crazy long live streams. And everybody have a good rest of your week. See you later.